Broadcast coverage on the Region Sports Network is made possible by Pulse Technology, leading the way in technological innovation for over 70 years. Strack & Van Til, your favorite Indiana-made grocery store. Boilermakers Local 374. Earn while you learn. Visit Michigan City LaPorte. Closer than you think, better than you imagine. Ironworkers Local 395. Proud to be union. Crowell Insurance Company, the insurance superheroes. Bricklayers Local 4, the best hands in the business. Athletic Performance Factory, where athletes are made. IBEW Local 697, proud to support high school sports. American Testing Services, America's trusted name in NDT. Armor Construction, it's time to armor up. Wealth Partners on Main, a partner committed to your financial success. IBEW Local 531, the electrical professionals. Centier Bank, family owned since 1895. HealthLink, your community health center. The Right Group, the right way to buy and sell real estate. KIG Senior Solutions, navigating Medicare with confidence. Economy Electric Heating and Cooling, keeping you cool in the summer and cozy in the winter. Blythe's Team Sports, where the athlete shops. And Hampton Inn downtown Indianapolis. This is the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us, and welcome to live video coverage of football night in the region on the Region Sports Network. We welcome you to Portage High School, as tonight the Morton Governors will take on the Portage Indians for week one of the IHSAA high school football season. My name is Quincy Bell. I'll be handling the play-by-play for tonight's broadcast, and joining me with the color analysis is Chris Figg. Chris, it has been a long, long offseason. Some might say too long. The storms made it feel even longer. But you know what? When you walk through the door, there was no face I'd rather see beside me in the booth for football this season.
I couldn't agree more, Quincy. And, you know, it's a beautiful night for football. I was talking to some coworkers this morning. I mean, it's the perfect, almost fall weather, you know, crisp, kind of a crisp night, not super hot outside, pretty chill. See a couple hoodies on out there. I mean, this is a perfect night for Friday night football if I've ever seen one after all the storms that hit us recently.
You know, everyone loves the summer, but for me, my favorite season is fall, and I think you could talk about the fall equinox or whatever. When the football gets kicked off, that's when fall is officially underway.
I couldn't agree more. As soon as that football's kicked off, it's time for fall weather, you know, waiting for the leaves to change colors and come to the ground. But like I said, it's already feeling like fall in late August, not necessarily fall according to the seasonal calendar like you said, but you could fool me with the way it feels.
Tonight's matchup, the Morton Governors against the Portage Indians, two teams that had pretty opposite campaigns last season. Morton with a very strong year, 6-3 in the regular season. They went into that 5A sectional. They gave Maryville a fight, 28-7. They eventually lost. Maryville goes on all the way to the state title game. But Morton, they return a lot of starters, especially on the offensive end, and they actually, with the size of their school, they're moving down to the 4A division, so they could be a team that can make a lot of noise this year.
Yeah, and I mean, especially they competed with a good 5A team last year in Maryville that, as you said, made it to the state championship, had one of the best high school quarterbacks I've seen in a long time. But, I mean, this Morton team's going to be real intriguing. I'm really excited to watch Cordero Bennett tonight. I mean, listed at 6'5", 205 as a wide receiver. That is a deep threat if I've ever seen one, of just to toss it up there and he'll come down with it.
Bennett, we'll talk about him more later. He has 16 Division I offers, including one to the defending national champion, Indiana Hoosiers. Their starting quarterback, Amari Price, sophomore, stands at 5'9", but he started all year last season as a freshman. He's a disciplined passer, 17 touchdowns to just 2 interceptions, had a quarterback rating over 134.
Yeah, and I mean, that's incredible, especially in the high school game, coming in as a freshman starting. I mean, compared to middle school, youth league, wherever he was playing at before high school, it gets a lot faster. Guys are getting a lot bigger, especially when you're in that 5A division and you're competing against some of the teams in the area, such as the Maryvilles and Crown Points, where they've got big offensive linemen, big defensive linemen, big everything you can think of. And it's just one of those things that 2 interceptions as a freshman, it means he was very sure of where he was throwing, made sure he wasn't making mistakes. Can't complain about that as a head coach at all.
We look at the defense for Morton. They don't return a lot. Only 4 starters coming back, but they do add Zaire Smith, a senior defensive back who played in Wisconsin his first 3 years before moving to the region.
Yeah, and, I'm intrigued to see kind of how this defense runs, running that 3-3-5. Instead of having 5 DBs, they've got 5 linebackers essentially. But some of these guys, like Robert Shaw, is about the size of a DB. I feel like he's going to be able to drop in coverage good. If I was a betting man, I'd say Foley's probably going to be more of a walk-up defensive end. Might come in, might just be a spy. Just kind of see how it plays out as the night goes on.
We know Morton is strong on offense. The defense has a couple of question marks. We look now at the Portage Indians, and 2025 was a season to forget. They went 0-10, including a Week 1 loss to these Governors, 35-7. Head coach Tony Klimzak. The interim head coach is out. The new coach in is Cody French, who spent 3 years at Michigan City, where he put together a pretty respectable program over there for the Wolves. Now he moves from the 5A level to the 6A level. And he told us Portage is a school where if you get the right guys in place and put together a good culture, you can win games here.
Yeah, for sure. I got to see 2 years ago that Portage had a really good team as they were competing against Valpo, who I believe made it to sectionals as well. This is a school that has a lot of athletic talent, and they have a lot of talent out there. At the high school level especially, you can have all the talent in the world, but you need to be well coached. Some of the best teams I ever saw and ever played against didn't have a lot of talent, but they were well coached, well disciplined, and that's the difference in a game, truthfully.
So they didn't win any games last year, and the good news is that pretty much everything is new. New coach, new quarterback, Bryce Hodges, sophomore. Really, we're going to find out what he's made of tonight, making his first high school start today. They do return a couple of starters on the offensive line, most notably Kyle Gata, the senior center, was a big piece for them last year. And a guy I'm looking at is Apollo Gibbs. He was sort of the third down change of pace running back last year. He'll be that bell cow back this year. 6'2", 210. He's a bowling ball out there.
Yeah, he's definitely a bowling ball, and, we got to watch Michigan City at the beginning of the year last year with Cody French coaching them, and they had a running back there, pretty decent size. He was more of like a third-string kind of backup power guy, but, he was averaging 15 yards a carry every time he touched the ball. So, putting a big running back in French's system is a good idea because it gives you that chance to run between the tackles, especially when you got some offensive linemen out there. You're starting right guards 270, right tackles 260, centers 265. There's no one below 200 pounds on that offensive line.
We look now to the defense. Portage, of their front 7, they return 5 starters, and they're big up front. Anthony Alinas, the nose guard, 6'1", 280. Aiden Ortiz, Shane Hill, guys around him are big. And we talked about it a little bit before we went on the air. The Morton offensive line is a little smaller than this Portage front, so the key for Portage to win this game is they're going to have to use that size to their advantage and control the trenches. Pretty much what this game comes down to, in my opinion. Morton is a very fast, flashy team, a lot of quick guys on the outside, whereas Portage is more built and beefy in the trenches. So we'll have to see which comes out ahead tonight.
Yeah, and I talked to you a little bit about it before we went on air, Quincy, and one of my hardest games as an offensive lineman was actually going against a defensive tackle that might have been 170 soaking wet. And, he was one of the tougher matchups I had because he was just fast off the ball. So, that's what I'm looking at with the Morton defensive line. They're a little bit smaller than average. Nose tackle is about 180, 175 at defensive end. But, again, if they're fast off the ball, they can wreak havoc on these bigger offensive linemen as well.
The Pulse Power Meter is presented by Pulse Technology, bringing innovative technology to the game day experience. The energy is building, the crowd is getting louder, and momentum is up for grabs. Who's got the power? So, Chris, who are we looking at? Which individual player? Give me one on each side that could really make an impact early in this one.
Yeah, I mean, I think for Morton, it's kind of a toss-up. You've got a new DB coming in from Wisconsin. Again, he's another guy who's got a D1 offer to Eastern Michigan. So it's kind of interested to see how Zaire Smith does. But also, I mean, again, you got the number one receiver in Indiana in Cordero Bennett. A 6'5" guy, that typical Megatron size of just, again, there could be 3 guys on him, but if he's able to out-jump him as tall as he is, I mean, he's going to be 10 feet, 20 feet in the air, it feels like. Now, on the Portage side of things, I'm really excited to watch Apollo Gibbs run the ball. Again, it's one of those things that there is something just about having kind of a bowling ball bruiser of a running back, man. And when that running back's out there making plays, laying hits down, it gets the offense excited. It gets your offensive line excited. It gets the quarterback excited. But also it sets up play action and makes life easier on a young starter in Bryce Hodges that, again, first-year starter, if you can get that run game decided, switch to play action, move things around.
That was our Pulse Power Meter made possible by Pulse Technologies. The momentum can change in an instant, and Pulse Technologies keeps you connected to the action with innovative technology. Pulse Technology powering what's next. We'll have kickoff next. You're watching Football Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Get Pulse Technology on your team and score a touchdown with our managed print and copier services. Cover your bases with our IT and technology solutions, or hit a home run with our wide selection of office supplies. Scoreboards or AV solutions from Pulse Technology. That's a slam dunk. Or go for the grand slam with our office furniture and design services. Get in touch with us today. Pulse Technology, powering Indiana business since 1919.
Strack and Van Til for the win with 4 ways to save. Catch price drops on over 15,000 items and check the weekly ad for can't miss deals. Stack on the rewards program for digital coupons, points toward discounts and free products, and power up with our own brands. Keep your budget in the safety zone. Get the same great taste as national labels at lower prices. If you can't taste the difference, why pay the difference? Score big value with 4 ways to save at Strack and Van Til.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
Hi, I'm Crowell Company's Lantern Man. If you're a contractor, it's my job to make your insurance coverage simple and affordable. Because I know time is money, I'll come to your business. Certificates and bonds are a snap. Wherever you are, whatever business you're in, we've got you covered. As Crowell Company's Lantern Man, I'm your insurance superhero.
Crowell Company's Insurance Professionals, Highland, Merrillville, and Michigan City.
Earn while you learn from the best hands in the business. The Bricklayers Allied Craft Workers for Indiana, Kentucky Apprenticeship. That's right, this is a paid apprenticeship.
I'm getting an education while learning a trade and getting paid for it.
The thing that surprised me the most about this apprenticeship program is the respect I have received after the proper time and training.
Classes start soon, so apply now. There are training centers throughout Indiana and Kentucky. We are the Bricklayers and Allied Craft Workers for Indiana, Kentucky Apprenticeship. The best hands in the business.
Kickoff just moments away here from Portage, Indiana. Let's take a look at tonight's Friday night forecast, brought to you by our folks at Economy Electric Heating and Cooling. Currently at 74 degrees with a dew point of 65 degrees. Winds coming from the south at 5 miles an hour. But, Chris, there's rain in the forecast expected to come around 8 o'clock.
Yeah, and from the radar, it looks like it might be some short-lived rain. But either way, I mean, it's definitely going to make things a little bit more complicated, especially if you have a team that's very run-heavy compared to pass-heavy. pass heavy in the rain is not a fun time, as any receiver I'm sure will tell you.
I'm sure people around Northwest Indiana aren't sick of the rain at this point. Our heart goes out to anyone still struggling with power outages or if you've been affected in any way by these storms. We hope football being back can provide you a little bit of normalcy today. Shane Hill, the captain for Portage, is out for the coin toss. 4 guys are out there for Morton. The captains for Morton are number 20, Anthony Clark, number 5, Matthew Chandler, number 9, Damani Henderson, and number 12, Amari Price, the quarterback. Please join us in thanking them and everyone who helped our community rise together. Portage currently honoring all the people that have helped the Northwest Indiana community recover from these storms. Tonight's officials are Brian Boone, Dale Boone, Jared Cocaines, Joseph Veruno, and Nathaniel Cheek. It's interesting. Portage only sending 1 guy out there for the coin toss, with Morton sending out 4.
I am very intrigued about that, but it looks like they brought a jersey out. I don't know if that's to honor the first responders that helped out or to honor somebody.
There is a framed jersey out there at midfield. We can't quite see what it reads. Looks like the coin toss festivities are over. But we should have a fun matchup tonight. These two have opened the season against each other each of the last 5 years. They've played 7 times throughout their history. Portage leads the all-time series 5-2, but last year Morton won in Hammond with a 35-7 thumping over the Indians.
Yeah, I think these Portage Indians definitely have something to say after that game last year. You got a lot of returners from that team, and especially with the new head coach, you're wanting to make a statement. And, they did it right here. Won the coin toss, decided to defer and kick off to begin. They're going to get that defense out there to try to stop this fast Morton offense.
Football is just about back, and we could not be more excited.
Only a couple seconds till fall is officially kicked off.
Dominic McMahon will kick it away for Portage. Amir Daniels, Mike Walker back to return for the Governors. After a long summer, it felt like too long. Fall about to get underway. Big crowd on hand, mostly supporting the Portage Indians. We're underway from week 1 with a squib kick fallen on by Morton at the 30, and that's where Amari Price and company will set up shop.
Yeah, definitely like the squib kick to start out. This is, again, got a new head coach. You're trying to make a statement after last year's game. You definitely caught the kickoff return team off guard there.
1st and 10 from the 30-yard line. Amari Price is the quarterback for the Governors. Started 9 games last year as a true freshman, threw for 17 touchdowns, only 2 interceptions. He's looking to be that main guy all 4 years in Hammond, about to start year number 2.
Looks like he's starting an empty set, and it looks like Portage is only going to bring 4 guys. Oh, a false start out the game. That is a huge, a little bit of momentum for Portage right there. First play of the game, you get them to jump off sides, cause a false start, push them back 5 now. Now you're looking at 1st and 15 compared to 1st and 10.
Keon Wise, the junior right tackle, jumped. This Hammond front, they have 3 returning starters, but a lot of them are moving positions. The center, Tristan Siggers, the senior, he played guard last year. The other tackle, Jacarius Mullins, was also at a guard. He's moving to left tackle. So there's some experience up there, but a lot of guys moving positions. 1st and 15, they send Walker in motion, and they give it to him on the sweep. He's looking to get the edge, and he has it close to the first. He's ripped out just shy of the 40.
There's that speed you were talking about before the game, Quincy. Again, he was a 100-meter sprinter, first in the Northwest Indiana region at the 100-meter and 200-meter. Definitely got some speed. Getting him involved in a jet sweep early, good idea, especially when you can get around the edge as fast as he did. I think it's going to make it about 3rd and 4, 3rd and 3.
He only had 7 carries for 42 yards last year, but he's looking to be that main running back behind that offensive line we just talked about. And it looks like they're moving the chains.
I think it might have been a late hit.
I believe it's a horse collar tackle on Portage. I didn't see any flags, but they're moving the chains up to the 48. And Morton with 5 wide in the game right now.
Yeah, they're sticking with that empty set. I think they're going to keep moving Walker in motion, try to make him a threat on a jet sweep or just a deep ball.
Price from the gun. Portage brings a couple. Throw outside, and there's Bennett with the catch for 6 yards. Cordero Bennett, you got to keep eyes on him. Bunch of Division I offers. The number 1 receiver in the class of 2027.
Getting back to the line fast.
Up the middle with the carry. Portage standing tall up front.
Yeah, it looks like I think that was Kyron Merritt with the tackle in the backfield right there. Did a good job of pushing the center back and immediately getting pressure in the backfield. Wasn't fooled by the hurry-up offense by any means. Because, again, Morton's been in an empty set this whole time, and then they switched to almost kind of an off-base kind of wing formation. It was a number 1 out there. Marcus McBride almost lined up in a fullback role.
Morton doesn't play with any tight ends. It's mostly a bunch of guys split out wide. And here we see it again. 3 bunched up to the bottom of your screen with Price alone in the backfield. And it looks like Morton wants to talk things over. They call the game's first time out on 3rd and 5.
Looked like there might have been some miscommunication on the formation out there. Mari Price was trying to remove one of the wide receivers around, get him put back in spot. And I think Morton's coach just decided to call a timeout and get things kind of slowed down a little bit. Started out with a false start. 2 decently sized plays, one getting a little extra yards from a horse collar. But now you're looking at 3rd and 5. So, realistically, it's high school football. It's hard to get a kicker to make it from this distance. So you're looking at 4-down territory here potentially.
This would be a 60-yarder if Morton decided to kick it from here. Be sure to stay connected with all things Region Sports, as we are always active on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, X, and on our website at regionsports.com. Celebrating over 26 years, we're proud to still be the only game in town. 3rd down and 5 for the Governors from the 43-yard line. They got Cordero Bennett all the way outside to the bottom of your screen with Amir Daniels lined up in the slot.
Yeah, it's looking like they're going with a cover 3, potentially cover 4 here with a little cover 3 disguise at Portage.
Daniels out of the gun. They send a man in motion. Joshua Lazenby to the backfield. Play action. Price will keep it, trying to get the edge. He's destroyed on the outside by Reggie Gray. The DB coming up for a huge hit.
That is a big play there by Reggie Gray. Again, he was close to making it to where it'd be an easier 4th down to go for, but it looks like they're going to keep the offense out there and still go for it on 4th and 4, it's looking like. So right here, if I'm Portage, I'm looking out for either a draw or a screen because they're going to try to get something quick, try to catch the defense off guard.
Big moment here in the game. 4th and 5. The Morton Governors keeping the offense out on the field. Cordero Bennett getting motioned over to the right side. Price will look to throw. Swing pass outside to Lazenby, and he stumbles. He can't get back to the line, and Portage takes over on downs.
Big fourth down stop there. And, again, obviously guy tripped a little bit. But either way, there's a group of Portage players there ready to take him down even if he got a couple yards off it. So, good job by the Portage defense coming out, making a statement. First drive of the game. Time to see what the offense can do after their defense gave them good field position.
Bryce Hodges, the new starter for Portage, the sophomore, stands at 6 feet, 175 pounds. We'll see what he's made of. He's got Apollo Gibbs in the backfield with him, and Portage is stacking the line with just 2 receivers lined up to the right side of the formation. And it will be Gibbs for the first carry of the season. He's bouncing it outside. He's close to a first down, but there are flags right near the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, that was a great run by Gibbs. A defensive lineman was in the backfield ready to hit him. He was able to break it, but I think he was able to break it a little bit. Looked like their left guard might have gotten a flag for holding there. So, unfortunately, a first down becomes 1st and 20.
So both teams starting off with a penalty on their first play offensively of the season, sort of getting those week 1 jitters out of the way.
Yeah, and that's where I was saying earlier, that it was the nose tackle there that made the play. Antonio McElroy, small guy, but again, if he can shoot the gap and if he's off the ball fast, he can make it a nightmare for the center and guards out there.
1st and 20 from the 36. Portage still stacking the line. Even with them being behind the chains, it will be Gibbs straight between the tackles, and he is wrapped up by a bunch of Governors. It was Malik Candler, the defensive end, who had first contact that time.
Yeah, defensive line got pressure right away. They shot the gaps. They were able to get through the double teams, any of them that had it. That's where this, 3-5-3 defense gets a little interesting because it's going to look like you're bringing pressure a lot, but if you got 3 guys up front that can get pressure without your linebackers having to come, it makes life a lot easier too.
2nd and 22. Candler, a returning starter from last year. The Governors' leaders in sacks throughout 2025. Swing pass outside is short. Hodges, with his first throw, he was looking for DeMarcus Jenkins, but couldn't quite find him in the flat.
Pressure got there again. There are 3 defensive linemen are getting pressure right away. It looks like they lined up one of their linebackers as a defensive end coming off the edge there. The ball might have been tipped. It looked a little underthrown, but I think one of the defensive players might have gotten a hand on it.
3rd and a mile, 22 yards. Portage needs for the first. And somebody moved. It looks like it was Candler. A little jumpy off the edge after getting his first TFL.
Yeah, definitely had a great play, get a TFL, but then just making a small mistake like that, it happens. Got to have a goldfish memory out there, move on. Just move on from it. Next play happens. It is what it is. Right now, if you're Portage, obviously a first down's great, but you're looking at getting a decent punting spot where you can really pin this Hammond team, the Morton Governors, back on their own 10.
3rd and 22 becomes 3rd and 17. 3 receivers to the left side for Portage. Hodges to throw. He has time. Lofts one down the sidelines and in and out of the hands of Keyshawn Brown.
Great coverage there by the DB, and, great effort by Keyshawn Brown. It looked like he was going to come down with it for a second, but DB was able to get a hand up in his face, break up the connection a little bit, make it a little bit harder.
It was Amir Daniels on the coverage. He's the main shutdown DB for these Morton Governors. Had 1 interception last year. And right now, he's back to return this punt with the safety, Cordero Bennett, the big receiver for Morton. He plays 2 ways. Both of those guys back to return the upcoming punt from Patrick Jakubiak. Low punt. It'll bounce to Daniels, and he'll let it go. This one rolling well in the favor of Portage. It'll be downed at the 10. We'll step aside for a moment. You've been watching Football Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Get Pulse Technology on your team. Hit a home run with our managed print and copier services, IT and technology solutions, office furniture and design services, office supplies, scoreboards, and AV solutions.
field. Welcome back. First play of the new drive for Hammond. Morton, a 2-yard rush from their quarterback, Amari Price, on the keeper. Both teams stalling out around midfield after their first drive. We're still looking for the first points in this Week 1 matchup between the Morton Governors and Portage Indians.
Looks like Portage is lining up in more of a 4-2 now. They got one of their linebackers out there as a DB. I'd watch him to come off the edge.
Throw outside, and it's caught by Matthew Candler.
It's going to be caught.
And he lost yards that time.
Caught for a loss. Actually, Portage was in the right defense for it. They saw a bubble screen coming, it seemed like, and got their linebacker out there, Tristan Burleson. He was ready for it, was fighting through a block, and was going to make a play if need be, but Morton tripping up a little bit. It's going to make it 3rd and long from their own 9-yard line.
After a couple of passes for negative yardage, Amari Price has completed 3 passes for 0 yards now. 4 wide for Morton, 3 guys lined up to the left side of the formation. Price needs 12 yards on 3rd down. He'll keep it up the middle. He has a solid carry, but not nearly enough for the first. Portage forces a 3 and out.
Yeah, great job by Portage's defense. You know, change of possession real quick, and you pinned them down essentially on their 10-yard line. Now they're punting from their own 15. You're looking to get the ball back around midfield and give your offense great field position for the second time already this game.
Keyshawn Brown back deep to return for Portage. Matthew Candler does the punting for the Morton Governors. Almost blocked that time. Portage came screaming through the line. Brown muffs it. Ball loose on the turf. And it's recovered by the Governors.
Went from it looked like it was going to be a blocked punt to a muffed punt. I mean, again, Portage's defense has been lights out so far. So, I'm looking for the defense to keep the momentum up here. But Morton got some momentum there.
Ramiro Malagon, right place, right time. He recovers the muff, and new life for the Governors at the 41-yard line.
I think Brown just saw some green grass in front of him. It's almost like those DBs that dropped the picks. They saw it, licking their chops, thinking they were going to make a big play, and just unfortunately couldn't hold on.
Price on 1st down, has time to throw. He's looking deep down the middle of the field, and that one was almost picked off in and out of the hands of Reggie Gray.
Great play by Gray there. I mean, again, almost an interception. Would have been the first for a very young season for Amari Price after only throwing 2 picks last year. I think he thought his DB was going to keep going on more of a post route there and just overthrew him by a hair. But Portage is doing a good job of not giving the quarterback too much time to throw, giving him about 2 seconds. Ideal time is 3 seconds is what you want to give your quarterback. So this Portage defensive line is doing a good job of disrupting it.
Sweep handoff, Marcus McBride looking to get the edge, and he's sat down again. That time it was Lester Wisby, the defensive back, coming up for the stop. These DBs for Portage have been everywhere earlier.
Yeah, great play there by Lester Wisby. And, I mean, again, it's one of those things, this jet sweep, it may not be working now, but if they keep throwing that motion, even if they're not getting yards out of it, they can move to a play action later down the road, and it's really going to open up a deep pass real fast.
3rd and 10. Price in the gun. Looking to pick up a huge 1st down and take advantage of that mistake by Portage. Over the middle, it's caught. Matthew Candler still looking for more yardage up near the 40-yard line.
That was a heads-up play there by Price. Middle linebacker comes screaming in the middle, through right where the linebacker should have been in coverage. Again, it's a blitz, so you got 5 guys coming. Guys not in zone coverage. You see your man wide open in the middle of the field. It's an easy catch and toss.
18 yards, and Morton across the 50. Price on play action, looking, throwing late, and out of bounds. Incomplete.
Yeah, I think he just wanted to get rid of that one there. I mean, it was well over the head of his receiver, and it's a really heads-up play. You know, he's got pressure coming away. Play action fooled me a little bit. I thought they did a little fake jet sweep dive. They got the defense a little bit, but defense line recovered fast and was able to start trying to get pressure, but also the DBs did a good job of covering their guys and not biting on the run.
We haven't seen much of Cordero Bennett so far, just one catch for 5 yards in this first quarter. The safety for Portage, Keyshawn Brown, has been sort of shadowing him on that right side of the field. That's where Bennett is lined up alone. Price, swing pass outside, Anthony Clark looking to get around the corner. He has some space across the 20 into the red zone where he's knocked out of bounds by Brown.
Good play there by Brown. Got the right angle, was able to make a stop. It looked like he was going to run away with it for a minute. However, again, really heads-up play there by Brown and able to get that, essentially the edge on him. But also really good job by Anthony Clark on the swing pass, you know, reading his blocks, making it knowing where to go, essentially, not trying to make too much out of nothing.
30 yards on the catch and run. And Morton into the Wealth Partners on Main red zone. Two running backs in the game, Lazenby and Walker on either side of the quarterback, Amari Price. And it will be Walker on the sweep to the right, looking to get outside, and he's dragged down by Lester Wisby again.
Lester Wisby has done a really good job on these outside zone jet sweep plays of crashing down to the line and, again, just getting great angles to where running back either has to stop on a dime and cut it back in, or he's got to try to run through him, and Wisby is not making it easy for them out there.
This guy has been everywhere. The junior stands at 6'3", 190, and he is quick, getting to these ball carriers before they can do any damage. 2nd and 10 for Portage, or for Morton, at the 11-yard line. And they're going with two running backs again. And Cordero Bennett, he's a good red zone guy. He's alone to the left. Price looking that way. One-on-one coverage for Bennett, and it's knocked away. A great breakup right there by Zy Parker.
Great job by Zy Parker there. He didn't jump too early. Essentially watched the receiver's eyes more than he did his hands, you know, and that's a really heads-up play there by him by being able to break up the catch. You know, like you said, the red zone threat right there. They did the old, you know, Detroit Lions back with Matthew Stafford and Calvin Johnson. Just got a big guy on a smaller guy, and you're going to throw it up and see whose guy's going to come down with it. But Zy Parker making a heck of a play there.
3rd and 10. Bennett is off the field right now. A couple of new guys are in, and Morton will talk things over. They take their second timeout of the first quarter, and we'll step aside for a moment. Third down coming up next on Football Night in the Region.
Earn while you learn from the best hands in the business. The Bricklayers Allied Craftworkers for Indiana, Kentucky Apprenticeship. That's right, this is a paid apprenticeship.
I'm getting an education while learning a trade and getting paid for it.
The thing that surprised me the most about this apprenticeship program is the respect I have received after the proper time and training.
Classes start soon, so apply now. There are training centers throughout Indiana and Kentucky. We are the Bricklayers and Allied Craftworkers for Indiana, Kentucky Apprenticeship. The best hands in the business.
At American Testing Services, based in Hobart, Indiana, we specialize in NDT drone inspections and heat treatment services for local mills, fab shops, and facilities across the country. From Northwest Indiana to nationwide, we deliver precision, safety, and reliability. American Testing Services, America's trusted name in NDT.
Third and 10 upcoming for the Morton Governors at the 11-yard line. Big play here. Portage looking for a defensive stand in the red zone. Price alone in the backfield. He gets the snap. Portage is after him. He's hit as he throws. Ball up for grabs in the end zone. Just out of the reach of Cordero Bennett.
Yeah, I mean, Bennett was pretty open there on essentially an out, not necessarily an out route, but a corner route. I mean, it looked like he was going to be waltzing into the, not necessarily the end zone, but the back of the end zone celebrating. Good job by this Portage defense. Again, they are getting pressure on Amari Price, not making his life easy. They're making him have to throw quicker passes than, the deeper throws that I'm sure he would love to throw out to Bennett. But really, their big hitters have been quick out routes, jet sweeps, and swing passes so far.
They're keeping the offense on the field. 4th and 10 from the 11. Morton looking to put pressure on Portage early. Price with the snap. One-on-one to the back of the end zone. Caught by Amir Daniels for the touchdown.
Good catch there by Daniels. I mean, DB was draped all over him as he was coming down, trying to knock the ball away. But again, that's a good job by Price coming back after getting hit while throwing it and throwing it out of bounds to finding his guy and giving his guy an opportunity to score.
Daniels was the leading receiver last year for Morton, and he starts the scoring here in week 1. Victor Tovar out for the extra point, making his debut as the Morton kicker today. But a gutsy call that time to go for it on 4th and 10. They trust their quarterback Amari Price, and Amir Daniels with a nice catch in the back of the end zone.
Yeah, and I mean, I like the call because, again, you're 4th and 10 at the 10 going into the end zone. So even if you get down at the 1-yard line, you're pushing this Portage offense back.
Extra point up and good. 7-0 Governors with just under 4 to go in quarter number 1. You're watching Football Night in the Region on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
You ready? Let's go! Yeah. For those of you that want to know what we're all about, it's like this, yo. This is 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50% pain, and 100% reason to remember the name.
Your future starts
here.
Sometimes the hardest part of improving your business isn't coming up with a great idea. It's knowing what to do with it. Chester Inc. Architectural and Construction Services is ready to meet all your industrial and commercial construction needs. Whether it's a small build-out or a complete construction project, Chester will design, build, and finance. Our team eliminates multiple contractors, providing you a single point of contact while staying within your budget. Chester Inc. Architectural and Construction Services, turning your ideas into realities.
It's a single-digit number. Might be Gibbs.
Welcome back to Football Night in the Region. This season, make your health part of the game plan. HealthLink provides medical, dental, behavioral, health, vision, pharmacy services, and more for the whole family. Medicaid, Medicare, most commercial insurance plans are welcome. Call 888-580-1060 today. 7-0 Morton Governors after they went for it on 4th and goal. And an 11-yard touchdown to Amir Daniels starts the scoring. The squib kick is away, fielded by one of the Portage up men. Looking for space, Apollo Gibbs around the corner, lowers the shoulder. He's still going across the 40.
You do not.
And the Indians grab some momentum right back. They're set up with great field position.
Even if he had gone down on that first initial contact, I mean, lowering his shoulder there sets momentum right there. You don't see a squib kick returned that deep often. I mean, it's even in the NFL, the only pooch kick you've ever really seen returned is the New England Patriots with that offensive lineman back there.
Mike Connolly just rumbling, bumbling, and stumbling. Apollo Gibbs, he's the primary running back for these Portage Indians. He's only gotten one carry today, and he was stuffed in the backfield for a 2-yard loss. Looks like this time Gibbs is lined up in a tight end slot.
They got Tristan Burleson back there at running back right now.
Burleson primarily a middle linebacker for these Indians, but he can run the ball a little bit, and he might be getting the carry here on 1st and 10. He will. Straight between the tackles. He's dragging defenders up across the 25-yard line.
Yeah, I mean, not a small guy by any means. 5'10", 200 pounds. It's kind of the prototypical running back you see a lot in college. You know, not the biggest guy out there, but definitely not the smallest. I mean, he was dragging guys down the field with him as he was running. Good job by keeping his feet running. You know, it took about 3-4 Governors to bring him down.
6 yards on the carry. 2nd and 4 upcoming for Portage. Burleson is the back again, with Portage continuing to stack the offensive line. This time it's a quick throw outside and in and out of the hands of Keyshawn Brown.
Yeah, that was a really heads-up play by the offensive coordinator. You know, if the receiver catches that, he still might get a yard or two, but did a play action. I mean, Governors were coming. They had multiple guys at the line of scrimmage lined up, ready to come. Middle linebacker, it looked like he was about to try to jump the snap there for a second.
Brown has had a tough day today. He muffed a punt on that last drive for Morton, kept the Governors going, and they eventually scored to draw first blood in this Week 1 contest. 3rd and 4 upcoming. Gibbs is the running back. Play action. Hodges looking down the sidelines, up for grabs and incomplete. Zaire Smith almost had an interception as he broke up that pass. The senior who transferred in from Waukesha, Wisconsin, makes it 4th down.
Yeah, and it looked like I think that was Shane Hill that was on the receiving end there, but great play there by the transfer, Zaire Smith, making a play on the ball, making sure not to make too much contact with the receiver. Now it's 4th and 3, 4th and 4. You're going to have to go for it here if you want to keep momentum in this game after that great return.
4 down territory, 4 receivers in the game for Portage. Man in motion, movement up front. We'll see who moved first. Both teams pointing and saying it was the other team that moved. It would be a first down for Portage if they rule this offsides on the Governors.
Looks like the side judge is ruling it as encroachment. He is. That is a huge first down get. And, I mean, again, good job by the offensive line. You know, it's really hard not to jump when you see a guy running at you. It's one of the harder things to do, but great job by the offensive line. Really, really heads-up play there. And, again, it's a first down, hard count.
For the first time this year, the Portage Indians are in the Wealth Partners on Main Red Zone. Don't fumble your retirement. Give them a call at 219-278-4570. Gibbs is the running back, the 6'2", 210-pound senior. Will he be running back between the tackles? He will, but he lost the ball. He does dive back on top of it, thankfully for Portage, but he loses 3 yards.
Yeah, I mean, good job by him by jumping back on the ball, seeing it on the ground right away. Could have turned into an ugly play for them with the Governors scooping and scoring or just landing on it and momentum going away from them. Makes it a 2nd and long, and they're going to put back there again Burleson, who was carrying 3-4 guys earlier. See if he does it again.
2nd and 13. Hodges will throw. He has time, steps up in the pocket. He's going to take off, but not enough room to go anywhere. The Morton front swarming, and they'll stop him after a gain of 3.
That was a good play there by Hodges. You know, receivers are covered. He was able to get out, running actually between the tackles as he scrambled. Didn't really roll out. Saw a gap, took it. Had a little wheel on him, too, there.
It's back to 3rd and 10. We've seen head coach Cody French put the ball in the hands of his sophomore quarterback, Bryce Hodges. He's thrown a lot early in this game, but has yet to complete a pass. They'll go back to the air. Hodges is sat down for the sack. Demarion Woodard and Malik Candler will both get a half sack on that one.
And that goes back to what I talked about earlier. You know, Demarion Woodard isn't the normal size for a defensive end at 175, but going against a tackle, speed can kill on the edge. And, I mean, that's exactly what happened there. He was able to get past the tackle right away. Tackle wasn't able to do a full kickback or a kick block like he wanted to. I mean, good job by him getting around the edge fast.
9 yards lost on the sack. It's going to be 4th and 19 upcoming. This is sort of an area where, if you're Portage, it's a little too close to punt, too far to kick. They might have no choice but to maybe go for this.
Yeah, I think they're gonna go for it just to try to keep momentum. Even if you don't get it, you can get at least closer to the red zone, because right now they just push you out of the red zone. But if you can get it on Morton's 15-10, again, we saw earlier, Portage's defense with short field or a long field to work with was able to stifle that Governor's defense or offense.
The offense still out there on 4th and 18 with time winding down in quarter number 1. 7-0 Governors. Portage had great field position to start this drive after the return from Apollo Gibbs, trying to make sure it doesn't go to waste. Hodges to throw, rolling out to the end zone. Caught! Touchdown, Indians, Aiden Sanders.
Great pass there by the young guy. And first completion, a touchdown. I mean, that could be an omen of good things to come for Bryce Hodges' career. But heck of a throw, had 2 receivers there. I mean, that was just a great throw as he was rolling out, especially as the linebacker started chasing him down as he rolled out, if you saw that.
Sanders, just a sophomore at 5'10", 180, not even listed in the top 4 receivers for Portage. But a great start to his high school career at the varsity level. Extra point is up and good from Patrick Jakubiak. We're tied up at 7 as we head to a break. You've been watching Football Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
I can't believe I waited this long to get help.
High cholesterol runs in my family, so I know I needed to get tested every few years.
If I didn't get checked out, I might not have known till it was too late.
I never would have guessed I had diabetes.
Between the stress and the kind of food I was eating, my blood pressure was through the roof.
HealthLink made it easy and affordable to get tested and put my mind at ease.
Call to schedule your health screening today because good health can't wait.
At Athletic.
Welcome back to Football Night on the Region Sports Network. We're tied up at 7. The Portage Indians with a big strike, a 28-yard touchdown on 4th and 18 to the sophomore receiver Aiden Sanders. And the Governors will get the ball back with time winding down in the first quarter.
Yeah, I mean, that's huge. You go tied now, 7-7, looking going into the second quarter, depending on obviously what happens in the next minute and a half.
Kick is away. It'll be returned by Walker. Cutting up the middle, he has some decent yardage up near the 39, but flags are down on the return.
I have a feeling this is going to go back a little bit. Usually you see a flag on kickoff. It's 9 times out of 10 going to be on the return team. I have a feeling it's a hold.
And you're right, Chris. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Morton, to start their last drive, they went 3 and out. From inside their own 10-yard line, it looked like Portage was going to get the ball with some great field position. They punted it away, and then the punt was muffed by Keyshawn Brown, and Morton marched right down to the end zone and made the Indians pay after that mistake.
Yeah, for sure. And, Morton did a good job of seizing the opportunity, but now how does this offense come out? Momentum has swung again. Portage has gotten the momentum back. So are we going to see a Morton team that's able to drive down the field, or are we going to see a Portage defense come out with a little bit more confidence now, seeing that their offense can go out there and score too?
Amari Price has looked solid in this first quarter. 6 completions on 10 attempts for 59 yards and 1 touchdown already. He's in the backfield with Mike Walker as his running back. And they will give it to Walker, and he is immediately hit in the backfield for a loss by number 79, big Kyron Merritt in there for the TFL.
Looks like there might have been some miscommunication on the offensive line there, but heck of a play there by Kyron Merritt. Sometimes when you go free, it's usually a trap or a power. You got a pulling guard coming towards you or pulling tackle. He just ran straight at the running back. There was no pulling guard that time.
A 5-yard loss will set up 2nd and 15 with under a minute to go here in quarter number 1. Five wide for the Governors. 3 to the left, 2 to the right. Price alone in the gun. Quick screen outside is too tall for Matthew Candler.
Even with it being a quick little bubble screen, I mean, this defensive line's getting pressure on Price, but we've also seen, as we saw earlier in the red zone, Price can still handle it under pressure, but sometimes pressure does get to a guy.
3rd down and 15. Amari Price, a sophomore quarterback, was the primary starter last year as a freshman, was very strong. 17 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, but pressure can get to any quarterback.
Exactly. I mean, you've seen it from the greatest of all time in Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees. They've still made errant passes with pressure.
Cordero Bennett, the big deep threat, lined up alone to the right side. Price looking that way, but he throws middle, caught by the running back Joshua Lazenby, squeaking through. He has a first down and a lot more. Lazenby in a foot race. Can he win it? Yes, he can. Touchdown, Governors, from 81 yards out.
Yeah, and I mean, again, great play design by the Governors there. Portage's defense has been getting pressure this whole first quarter. They decided to do a little halfback screen there. Defense line gets through. He's able to get it over that defense line as they're coming at him. But great play there by Lazenby, just putting on the jets and just running. Looked like the safety might have an angle on him, but it seemed like he kicked into a whole nother gear as he was running down.
With 9 seconds to go in the quarter, the Morton Governors have the lead back. We've seen a lot from these two teams, and it's only quarter number 1. A heck of a start to week 1 here on the Region Sports Network. Victor Tovar out for the extra point. He's 2 for 2 today. 14-7 Governors. And we'll keep it here on the Region Sports Network with just 9 seconds to go before the quarter change. Ordering groceries has never been easier with online shopping at Strack & Van Til. Save time and money. In-store sale prices, pickup or delivery online, coupons, reward points, and more. Shop strackandvantil.com today. Later, we'll give you our Strack & Van Til hometown scoreboard update. The 2 other games being broadcast on the Region Sports Network tonight. The Hobart Brickies at the Chesterton Trojans and the Lowell Red Devils at the Crown Point Bulldogs. One of those, a big rivalry game. Lowell and Crown Point, those two do not like each other.
Yeah, definitely don't like each other, and we got the chance to see Hobart play last year, and they are a very hard-nosed team to play. And, I want to apologize to the Portage fans. Might have been a little announcer's curse there, as I said, going 7-7 at the end of the first quarter with a minute and a half left. So I do apologize for that if you are a superstitious person out there.
These Portage Indians will see Hobart next week as they travel to face the Brickies. A rivalry that got renewed last season here in Portage. Hobart with a big win that time. And the Brickies are back ranked in the RSN top 10. They come in 4th in the preseason poll. These Morton Governors coming in at 7 in the preseason poll. Those two are looking to be very strong 4A squads who might see each other in a sectional.
Yeah, and I mean, it's, again, 4A ball is a whole different ball game compared to 5A. It's not necessarily the size, but it's also just overall, it's a little bit the size and just the depth of teams. You get to that 5A level, you got some teams that are 3-4 players deep at every position.
At the conclusion of tonight's game, we'll name the Crowell Company's Lantern Man Superhero of the Game. Crowell Companies have offices open in Highland, Maryville, and Michigan City. They're the insurance professionals. A lot of options here to start as to who gets that award. Currently, Amari Price, 7 for 12 through the air, 140 yards, 81 of those on that latest touchdown to Joshua Lazenby.
Yeah, definitely make an early case for player of the game, but if Shane Hill keeps it up too and the Portage Indians can redeem themselves from last year, I think
Squib kick is away through the legs of 2 up men. And Morton says they have it. We'll see who's at the bottom of that pile. I believe Portage did get back on top of that one.
Yeah, it looks like Portage got on top of it, and again, very, very good job by the return team to jump back on the ball, especially with it going between 2 guys' legs and almost being like a oiled football out there, making it a little bit harder to grab, or greased football.
Yeah, that one went the heart probably stopped for the Portage special teams coach after he saw that one go through the legs of 2 players.
Definitely stopped, and it seems like Morton's going to keep up with the squib kick, trying to catch this Portage Indian team off guard.
1st and 10 Indians from the 32-yard line, 2 seconds before we head to quarter number 2. It's a handoff to Apollo Gibbs, weaving his way between the tackles. He'll be brought down after a gain of 2. Second quarter coming up next You're watching the Region Sports Network.
Every great football game is shaped long before the final drive. It's built through preparation, discipline, and a plan. Retirement is no different. The closer you get, the more important every decision becomes. At Wealth Partners on Main, we help you build a personalized retirement strategy, so when you approach your retirement red zone, you can move forward with confidence. Because the best outcomes aren't left to chance. They're planned. Wealth Partners on Main, your home team for retirement.
For 26 years, Armor Construction has been beautifying homes across Northwest Indiana. From expert roofing and durable siding to eye-catching custom copper work, Armor Construction does it all with the highest quality and integrity. Serving Lake, Porter, and LaPorte counties, trust the best exterior construction company in Northwest Indiana to protect your investment.
Second quarter underway here from Portage on the Region Sports Network. 14-7, the lead in favor of the road squad. The Morton Governors, the 7th-ranked team in the preseason, making it happen through the air early in this one.
Looks like Morton's going to bring pressure again.
Portage back with the ball for 2nd and 8. Bryce Hodges to throw. He has time and lobs one deep into one-on-one coverage, and it's picked off on the sidelines. Did Bennett get his feet in bounds? He did not, but that was close.
That was a very athletic play there by Bennett. For a second, I thought he might have got a foot in, but I think his arm might have just hit the out-of-bounds line before he could get his foot down. But great play by him, and a little bit of a bailout there for Bryce Hodges. But, I mean, he threw a good ball there. He had his wide receiver open, just Bennett came out of nowhere. Almost kind of a robber zone, essentially.
Cordero Bennett listed as the number 1 receiver in the class of 2027 out of the state of Indiana. He has offers to play at IU and Purdue, but he's the lone safety back in this 3-5-3 defense for Morton. Screen pass is in and out of the hands of Apollo Gibbs.
Yeah, and good play call there by Portage. Morton's been getting a lot of pressure. Tried to get the screen. I think Hodges, again, learning. He's going to have some growth, learning pains, essentially, as a first-time starter. Got to get that ball out a little bit sooner, but also defensive line might have made a break on it.
Hodges to start his high school career as a starter. He's 1 for 7. The only pass he completed was that 28-yard touchdown to Aiden Sanders. Punt is away. Bennett back to return. He'll let this one go. He's awfully close to that ball as we have some pushing and shoving behind the play. Apollo Gibbs got tangled up with Makai Thomas that time. Both those two were wrestling after the play, and flags are down.
Might be a penalty on both teams, just with, again, evening it kind of out. Personal foul on both teams, so it'll cancel out. But also they could just see who was more of the aggressor and give the penalty towards that person. Wasn't able to catch the scuffle. But Bennett was awfully close to that ball. Almost made a rookie mistake of being way too close to it and accidentally touching it.
And Apollo Gibbs is getting an earful from his head coach, Cody French. And we'll see where these penalties end up. The umpiring crew has made a decision. And you're right, Chris, it will be 2 offsetting personal foul penalties.
Yeah, and, that's the right call right there. You can't necessarily just give a penalty to the more aggressor. If they're both going at it, you got to even it out. I mean, it's just balanced nature of football.
So 1st and 10 for the Governors at the 31-yard line. Amari Price, the sophomore in his 2nd year as the starter, has been making it happen through the air today. 7 completions on 12 attempts, 140 yards, and 2 touchdowns, all in a quarter's work.
Yeah, and I mean, if you look at the yardage, too, a lot of those yards came from short passes, a screen and a swing pass, but he's also made a heck of a pass in the red zone to get that touchdown.
4 wide again for the Governors. Price with a swing pass outside to Anthony Clark. The running back has some room, looking to bounce to the outside. Now he cuts it back inside, and he's across the 40 with a catch and run of 17.
Yeah, I mean, Morton is using the speed to their advantage. They're doing these quick little swing passes, quick screen passes, just quick outs, and using their speed to their advantage in the sense of just getting their guys out in space.
41 receiving yards for Clark off of just a couple of catches. How about Amari Price just swinging it out there and letting his receivers do the work? He's lined up under center for the first time today, and flags are down before the play.
I think the tackle might have got a bit of a head start on the Governor's team. See what he signals.
I think you're right. It most likely will be a false start this time on Morton, and it will be. So 1st and 10 will become 1st and 15.
I think the tackle got a little excited after a big play of getting back out there.
And we talked about how dangerous Cordero Bennett is, the big 6'5 receiver for Morton. He's only made 1 catch for 5 yards today. It's mostly been the other guys doing the damage because Bennett just draws so much attention.
I was going to say, that's sometimes the benefit of having a guy like that on your team. You know, it opens up other guys.
Price will pitch it outside. It's Clark, and he's brought down near the line of scrimmage as more flags fly.
I think this is going to be another holding call on the offense, but again, a good pickup by the defense there of making the right read call. It's a little speed option. Quarterback has the chance to either keep it or pitch it out, as we saw there. He read the defensive end, first guy outside, defensive end crashed on him, pitched it out, but outside linebacker was right there to make the play.
Referees are still discussing right now, and it's going to be, it looks like illegal hands to the face that time.
That's a very rare penalty you see from the offensive side in high school especially. But again, it's another advantage for the Portage Indians. Makes it 1st and a mile compared to 2nd and 12, 2nd and 13.
Morton has a long way to go. They're at the 29. They need the 49 for a first. 1st and 20. Price with a toss. This time it's Walker with not a lot of room to go.
I think Price might have gotten a little hit on that play as he was pitching it away. Looked like a halfback toss more than it did any kind of speed option or anything like that. Able to get the ball out right as a Portage Indian was there to tackle him. But again, a good job by this Portage defense. They're getting pressure right away. But they got to be careful. You know, if they have another instance where the offensive line lets them go and you see the quarterback back there to drop back to pass, got to be looking for the screen. But they're doing a good job of not letting Price necessarily sit back there comfortably.
Morton hasn't really been able to run the ball today. Their big speed back, Mike Walker, 5 carries for just 10 yards, and we have more flags pre-snap.
And it looks like it's going to be another false start potentially. I don't know if the defensive end got the tackle before the ball was snapped.
Another false start for Morton, and they're moving the wrong way right now.
Yeah, I mean, that is 3 killer penalties on this drive so far. You have 2 false starts and this, downage alone, but on top of that, you also had the hands to the face. So now instead of 2nd and 15 and being able to set up, a 3rd and medium, 3rd and manageable. But again, this is where speed can kill. These Portage Indians got to be careful to watch out for any kind of quick little out pass or quick screen.
2nd and a mile. They hand it on the reverse to Marcus McBride, breaking off tackles up to the 40-yard line. 16 yards on that carry, so he's back near the original line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd and 11 upcoming.
Yeah, and that makes it more manageable. It's still 3rd and long. I mean, if you're the Portage Indians, you almost don't want to – you want to bring pressure, obviously. Make Price not be too comfortable so that way you can get the ball back from a punt. But also DBs, linebackers might want to be on a little bit of a softer coverage. Just don't even let them get to that line of scrimmage or to the first down marker.
Three receivers to the left side. It's Cordero Bennett alone at the bottom of your screen. 3rd and 11. Price back to throw. Stepping up in the pocket, now rolling out. He's being chased. Still alive. Throws outside, and it's caught by Amir Daniels. Across the 50 for a huge first down.
That's a good job there by Daniels, sitting down in the zone coverage. The zone started going away from him. He was wide open, and good job by Price by keeping the play alive. It looked like he was going to get sacked there for a second, was able to get to the outside essentially and just have a wide open man for an easier first down.
16 yards on the catch. And Amari Price is having himself a first half. 1st and 10 from the 44. This time it's back to the run. Straight between the tackles. Lazenby still moving forward.
It's a good job by Portage swarming the running back and not letting him get more, but a really good job by the running back to just keep on going forward. Looks like there is some more dirty laundry on the field.
That's the 4th flag of this drive. And we'll see if Morton is moving backwards again. They got all the yardage back after having it be 2nd and 24.
And it looks like they're going to get personal foul on the offense.
I believe that's a spot of the foul penalty, if I'm not mistaken.
It is. It was about a yard past the ball, maybe just a little extracurricular activities after the whistle or even during the whistle. But, again, that is another penalty that's pushing this Morton Governors team back, which they've shown they can get the first down from miles away, but it's not a good formula to keep going back to.
They're at the 47. They need the other 44 for a first. Screen pass outside. It's caught. Motoring up the field is Lazenby, and he's tripped up around the original line of scrimmage.
There it is again, a quick little swing pass. Lazenby's able to get out in space. You're getting your fast guys out there to give them the chance to make a play. I mean, Portage is doing a good job of not giving them a huge gain like they did in the first quarter. But also, you got to think this offense is getting a little worn out. I think they got the ball around the 9, maybe 10, or maybe the 10.5-minute mark. They've been out there for about 3-4 minutes, and they've been having long first downs to get every time.
Morton has controlled the clock today. It seems like Portage has barely had the ball in this one. They will get the ball out of the second half, but a long time before we get there. Daniels to throw on 3rd down. Screen is caught by Bennett, and he's dragged down just past the line of scrimmage.
And that is a good play there by the big fella out there, Kyron Merritt, actually making the tackle on the screen pass. He realized it was a screen right away and started going out there to make a tackle. One of the defensive players almost had a hand on the ball as it was coming out. I believe that might have been Aiden Ortiz out there.
Nonetheless, on 4th and 6, Morton will keep the offense out. They already have one touchdown today on 4th down. That started the scoring with the catch to Amir Daniels. Here's Price running out of time, stepping up, and he's dragged down. Portage with a big stand.
That was a huge stand there by Portage. And like I said earlier, this Indians defense has been playing lights out. Outside of 2 big plays, I mean, they have been able to keep this Governor's offense in check.
And currently still down on the ground, it's the big receiver, Cordero Bennett, and you hope he's okay. He's been an exciting guy to watch, and we'll step aside on the Region Sports Network.
Is your home ready for a refresh? Trust the cleaning and restoration specialist at Master Clean. For over 40 years, Master Clean has helped Northwest Indiana homeowners keep their homes looking their best. With professional carpet and upholstery cleaning, tile and grout cleaning, pet stain and odor removal, and more. With honest pricing and satisfaction guaranteed, you can count on Master Clean to get the job done right. Call 219-662-7838 or visit mastercleanselect.com today. Master Clean. Life happens. We help clean it up.
For months, it's all you've heard about. From the news broadcasts to the talk shows, from friends and family, and even from people you don't even know. It's coming to Hammond. It's really happening. It's free checking from Centier Bank. A perfect account for everyone.
Welcome back to Football Night on the Region Sports Network. Cordero Bennett, the 6'5 receiver, number one receiver in the class of 2027 out of the Hoosier State, making his way off the field under his own power, and we hope he's okay. He was a very exciting guy to watch last year as a sophomore. One of the best receivers, if not the best receiver in the region. We wish him the best and hope he can come back at some point.
Yeah, and, that's a big piece missing from this Morton defense now because he's been out there at safety almost playing that classic, Troy Polamalu, Ed Reed role kind of going around the field.
We'll see if Portage can maybe take advantage of that through the air. First play is a handoff to Apollo Gibbs, finding his way through the tackles, and he's across the 50 with 12 yards on first down.
And that's that big running that we talked about earlier. He's a bowling ball of a running back, lowering his shoulder and getting the first down, fighting through contact on that first initial hit.
That was the first time we've really seen him have any room to run. Before that carry, he had 3 carries for -3 yards. He's finally back in the positive.
Yeah, the offensive line did a really good job of stopping the 3 guys up front, and I think it was one of the few times Morton didn't try to bring an extra guy out.
Gibbs moves to that tight end spot, and it's Tristan Burleson in at running back. He'll get a carry. Weaving his way through, another big run for the Indians. That might be another first down. At least Burleson very close that time.
And what I'm liking right now is they're not trying to run between the tackles anymore. They're actually running right off the left tackle out there. Anthony Elnis Sr., who's 6'2", 290. That is a big man to run behind. And he's doing a good job of setting that edge and giving them a chance to essentially get to the linebacker DB compared to getting hit by a defensive lineman right away.
11 yards on the carry for Burleson. It's another first down. Portage looking to tie this one up with 5 minutes and change to go in the first half. 3 wide, Burleson is the running back again. Bryce Hodges, the sophomore QB, will look to throw over the middle, and it's caught. Near the first down marker, it's Keyshawn Brown with the reception.
Yeah, and this is the French offense that we saw at Michigan City last year. The minute he got that run game set, he's able to set up play action, and play action is a very, very dangerous option in high school because, again, you're wanting to bring pressure as much as possible on these high school kids, but if you can master the play action out there with the run game, you're one of the most dangerous offenses in the region.
2nd and 1 upcoming for Portage. It looks like they changed it. Now they'll move the chains. It's 1st and 10. Gibbs on the carry, lowering his shoulder, and it's going to take multiple guys to bring him down, and Morton does just that.
Portage is getting this run game started, and it's not a quick run game either. It's a bruising run game of we're going to bring our guys at you, we're going to let our running backs make some contact, and you got to bring them down, and it's taking at least 3 to 4 governors every time to bring them down.
5 yards on the carry from Gibbs. He's slowly but surely making his way down the field and accumulating some rushing yards. And Portage knocking on the door of the red zone at the 23-yard line. Hodges back to Gibbs. This time he's dragged down after a short gain. We mentioned this in the open, Chris, but these smaller linemen for Morton kind of just made their way around the bigger offensive linemen for Portage, and they were able to corral Gibbs that time.
Yeah, and Gibbs still got a yard or two out of it, but again, these smaller defensive linemen, when you're going against them, if they are fast off the ball and they've got great technique, they are hard to stop. I mean, it's one of the harder things to do because usually they got fast hands too, and they're able to hand fight with the best of them.
3rd and 4, and Tristan Burleson back in the game at running back. 3 wide for Portage, 2 of them to the left side. Now they send Aiden Sanders in motion, and we have movement up front. It looks like somebody jumped for Portage.
First false start of the night, I think, for Portage. Their offensive line and their offense has done a good job of not jumping too soon.
It's one thing Morton has struggled with. Portage has been by far the more disciplined team. But that's a big penalty right there. 3rd and 4 becomes 3rd and 9. You got to imagine this is 4-down territory for Portage. Clock winding down with just 2 minutes to go before half. You're deep in the territory. Might try to keep the offense on the field. Burleson breaking off tackles and dragging defenders up to the 19-yard line. He's about a yard short of the first.
And that is a great run by Burleson there, and it makes it a lot more of a manageable 4th down to go for. It opens up the playbook a lot more. They can try to run it again. I mean, Burleson's just been carrying guys every time, but they can also go to a play-action, little quarterback out, make him roll out and give him the opportunity to either run with it or throw it away.
4th and 2 from the 19-yard line. Burleson, the running back again. And it looks like Portage will call a timeout and talk things over. 4th and 2 upcoming when we come back on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Navigating Medicare doesn't have to be overwhelming. Crown Point's Christina Cherenko is a licensed insurance agent helping clients locally and nationwide with Medicare Advantage, Medicare Supplement, and separate dental, hearing, and vision options. Her personalized guidance is always free. Call Christina today at 219-444-0304 or visit KIGcares.com. KIG Senior Solutions is not connected with the federal Medicare program. Contacting this number connects you with a licensed insurance agent. This is an advertisement for insurance.
At Blyce, we're used to having the athlete shop at our store.
Down, sit, put.
But sometimes they get carried away. Blyce, this is where the athlete shops.
Portage with the offense on the field for 4th and 2 upcoming. Apollo Gibbs is the running back. Instead, it's a sweep to Sanders, and he has it.
That was a ballsy call there with doing a little jet sweep there instead of, traditional run up the middle. I like it, though. It's one of the first times they've really done a jet sweep tonight, and it works to their favor. Something to mention also, it was Morton that took that timeout, so Portage has all 3 timeouts, or should have 2 or 3 timeouts left.
The Governors don't have any. Minute 38 and counting to go in the first half. 1st and 10 from the 15. It's Gibbs, hit in the backfield, but trying to reverse field. He's getting swarmed. Still on his feet. It's going to take every single Governor to put Apollo Gibbs on the turf, but they do for a 7-yard loss.
Yeah, it looked like Gibbs was going to break away there for a second, but just unfortunately wasn't able to. I mean, Governors were able to swarm him, and here's the good thing for Portage. If you score here, great. You can do the, as you like to say, the Bill Belichick double dip of score now and score right after half. But also, you do get the ball back at the half, so if you run the timeout, just don't try to force anything and cause a turnover at this point.
Under a minute to go, 2nd and 18. Hodges rolling out, running out of time, throws late to the sidelines, out of bounds.
And that's a little bit of a killer there because now it's going to stop the clock, but throwing it away. Try to make a play to his wide receiver. Would have stopped the clock either way as the receiver is going out of bounds, but really a good heads-up kind of play by Hodges. It's either, hey, my receiver's going to catch it, we're going to get some yards, or B, no one else can make a play on it.
A field goal from here would be a clean 40-yarder. So Portage maybe try to get a couple yards here to make the field goal more manageable. Burleson, the running back, replaces Gibbs. Those two have been going back and forth all night. Low snap corralled by Hodges, stepping up, running out of time, avoiding the sack, still on his feet. And he's dragged down at the line of scrimmage. No gain. Clock rolling. Morton cannot stop it. So Portage might run this down to 2 seconds and then bring the field goal unit out.
Could also see if they're not super confident in a field goal kick here, let the clock run down to 2 seconds and just go for the end zone at this point. I mean, again, if they intercept it, it hurts stat-wise, but also you get the ball back in the second half. You're not necessarily losing anything.
10 seconds. From the 23-yard line, Hodges with the snap. He's got to go to the end zone. Up for grabs. Fight for the ball, and it's picked off by Zaire Smith. It looks like they're going to say he was out of bounds that time. The result would have been the same anyway, but there are flags late on that play. They're near the flag is near the line of scrimmage.
And we got a governor down after the play, too. If it's a penalty against the defense, the offense will have one more play before the half. If it's on the offense, the half ends.
We'll step aside as the medical staff attends to the injured governor. We'll be back for maybe another play on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Every great football game is shaped long before the final drive. It's built through preparation, discipline, and a plan. Retirement is no different. The closer you get, the more important every decision becomes. At Wealth Partners on Main, we help you build a personalized retirement strategy, so when you approach your retirement red zone, you can move forward with confidence. Because the best outcomes aren't left to chance. They're planned. Wealth Partners on Main, your home team for retirement.
For 26 years, Armor Construction has been beautifying homes across Northwest Indiana. From expert roofing and durable siding to eye-catching custom copper work, Armor Construction does it all with the highest quality and integrity. Serving Lake, Porter, and LaPorte counties, trust the best exterior construction company in Northwest Indiana to protect your investment.
It was a too many men on the field penalty for Morton. So Portage will have one untimed down. And before that untimed down, Portage will use one of their 2 remaining timeouts. You can't take them to the half with you, so you may as well talk this one over.
Yeah, unfortunately can't call a second one, though, because that would be a penalty at that point. But looked like Bennett was actually trying to run out there real quick on the defense.
Yeah, we saw Cordero Bennett go down with an apparent ankle injury. He was able to make it off the field under his own power. Now he's back in the game. That latest injury was to Zaire Smith, who thought he had an interception. And then as he was running off to the sidelines, went down to the ground, but he also made it off under his own power. Those are 2 very talented DBs for Morton, who hopefully will be okay the rest of this game. Right now, neither one of them are on the field. And Portage with the ball at the 18-yard line. They have to go to the end zone with the clock already showing zeros.
It looks like Morton might do a good old-fashioned kitchen sink blitz of just 0.
3 receivers to the right side. Lester Wisby alone to the left. Low snap. Hodges gets it back under duress. He escapes. He might run for this one. Hodges cuts back. Still on his feet, but he's dragged down. The Governors eventually prevent him from scoring, and we'll head to the half with a 14-7 lead in favor of Morton.
Navigating Medicare doesn't have to be overwhelming. Crown Point's Christina Cherenko is a licensed insurance agent helping clients locally and nationwide with Medicare Advantage, Medicare Supplement, and separate dental, hearing, and vision options. Her personalized guidance is always free. Call Christina today at 219-444-0304 or visit KIGcares.com. KIG Senior Solutions is not connected with the federal Medicare program. Contacting this number connects you with the licensed insurance agent. This is an advertisement for insurance.
Every great football game is shaped long before the final drive. It's built through preparation, discipline, and a plan. Retirement is no different. The closer you get, the more important every decision becomes. At Wealth Partners on Main, we help you build a personalized retirement strategy, so when you approach your retirement red zone, you can move forward with confidence. Because the best outcomes aren't left to chance. They're planned. Wealth Partners on Main, your home team for retirement.
With electrical services from Economy Electric Heating and Cooling, you can radiate the perfect amount of light and energy into your home. From rewiring and code upgrades to ceiling fans, lighting, security, and more, Economy Electric Heating and Cooling's trained electricians will make sure you can enjoy your home on full power all the time. For a free estimate on electrical work, call Economy Electric Heating and Cooling at 219-923-4441, and you can visit them on the web at 4ajobdoneright.com. That's the number 4ajobdoneright.com.
At Blyce, we're used to having the athlete shop at our store.
Down, sit, put.
But sometimes they get carried away. Blyce, this is where the athlete shops.
Is your home ready for a refresh? Trust the cleaning and restoration specialist at Master Clean. For over 40 years, Master Clean has helped Northwest Indiana homeowners keep their homes looking their best. With professional carpet and upholstery cleaning, tile and grout cleaning, pet stain and odor removal, and more. With honest pricing and satisfaction guaranteed, you can count on Master Clean to get the job done right. Call 219-662-7838 or visit mastercleanselect.com today. Master Clean. Life happens. We help clean it up.
Flip the switch, a light turns on. Press the button, machines and instruments come to life. Touch the screen, communicate with the world. Simple tasks, guaranteed results, every second of every day. That's the power of power. And that's the power brought to you by the NECA contractors and electrical workers of Local 531.
It's time for the Commissioner's Corner, an exclusive weekly conversation about Indiana high school sports with the Commissioner of the IHSAA, Paul Neidig. Now for an up-to-the-minute report about what's happening in the constantly changing world of high school sports, here's Commissioner Paul Neidig.
Welcome into our first Commissioner's Corner of the fall of 2026. It is great to be back with you. I'm Brendan King, alongside the Commissioner of the IHSAA, Paul Neidig. Paul, it's great to be back. It's football season. You ready?
I'm ready, Brendan, and it's exciting. But, we've had a great summer across the state with student athletes, with their coaches and in their communities and working hard to get better. And, the great news is, especially on the football front, nobody's lost a game. Everybody's undefeated in that quest to be a state champion. And so we're excited about that. And we know these teams are excited for the new year.
What's the preparation like? Because, football is kind of its own entity, right, of high school sports. So this summer, what have you and your team been up to get ready for this point where we're talking about week one and the madness is about to begin?
Speaking specifically of football, Assistant Commissioner Robert Falkins has been on the road. He's been out and has been made face to face with every football coach in the state of Indiana to go over some basic rules of football, some changes along the way. And really, it's a quest that we always have here at the association because we understand that education-based athletics is different than anything else, and we want to make sure it stays special, but we also want to make sure our coaches are focused on the right thing as far as athlete development and the rules that we have to follow. And so Robert does a great job, and so that's been going on. And our teams have been in the weight room all summer long. They get out. They actually have some scrimmages. They don't go full pads, like you would in a traditional high school football game. But, they work on the finer points of the game. They get a lot of skill and drill in, and they occasionally go against an opponent to see who's for some measuring sticks to see if they're ready or not.
And, Paul, without a doubt, opening week, opening day, you were a high school athlete, IHSA athlete in this state. The spark, the feel, the dream, the week one feeling, being at your local high school, watching a local high school football game. What's that like for you? Just the spark and the fun in the air being at week one with all the smiles on the faces around the crowd. Important thing, buy a ticket, support your local community, right?
It is. It's so important. Indiana high school athletics are just special. I mean, it really becomes a community event. When I go different places, you can really see the health of a community because Friday night football becomes a gathering place. People come out. They don't go anywhere else during the school year, but when it's football season, everybody comes out and they want to buy a ticket and support those schools. And it's so important because what schools do and how they do it, and the uniforms they buy and all the things they buy for the student athletes, the vast majority of that income comes from gate receipts, people buying a ticket to their local high school event. And without that, without people going, without people buying those tickets, it's $6 or $7 in most places. The schools wouldn't be able to offer the quality athletic programs that they do.
And Paul, for those around the state, and we pray for them continuously that have been impacted by the flooding and the severe flooding that's been happening in recent weeks, schools that have been impacted by that, how do they work with you and how do you work with them along with the local government in order to get them back going?
Well, we really want schools to focus. We want it's their local communities, the first line of defense on how they prepare those things. But we fielded calls all week long about, practice rules and other rules that may be affected by the flooding or the inability to get a full type of practice. And we provide some guidance to school on what constitutes a practice or not. The practice rule is a health and safety rule, so it's not one that's waivable by us. But there's some creative ways that they can utilize other facilities to get their practices in, and we want to help schools be able to do that as quick as they can. But there's been some loss of life this week with the flooding. We always hate that. We want our people to be safe out there. The water's receding. People are kind of getting back to normal, but I know there were a lot of places in the state that had significant damage, and the community comes together once again to be able to put those schools back together and get participating with that time-honored tradition of playing for your high school.
Thanks for listening to The Commissioner's Corner with IHSAA Commissioner Paul Neidig, and thank you for your continued support of the high schools in your community.
Get Pulse Technology on your team. Hit a home run with our managed print and copier services, IT and technology solutions, office furniture and design services, office supplies, scoreboards, and AV solutions.
Strack & Van Til for the win with 4 ways to save. Catch price drops on over 15,000 items and check the weekly ad for can't miss deals. Stack on the rewards program for digital coupons, points toward discounts and free products, and power up with our own brands. Keep your budget in the safety zone. Get the same great taste as national labels at lower prices. If you can't taste the difference, why pay the difference? Score big value with 4 ways to save at Strack & Van Til.
Halftime here from Portage. It's the Morton Governors on top of the Portage Indians, 14-7. Chris, we've had a fun game today. All 3 touchdowns have been big passing touchdowns. These teams have been getting it done through the air.
Yeah, definitely been getting it done through the air. And where Morton has really been doing a good job is, again, they're getting their guys out in space. They know they have some fast guys out there. They got some athletes, and they're letting them make the plays. I mean, 2 of the biggest pass plays of the game were a halfback screen for a touchdown, the 81-yard touchdown, and then you had another big little halfback swing out that put them in the red zone.
At the conclusion of tonight's game, we'll name the Crowell Company's Lantern Man Superhero of the Game. The leading candidate right now, Amari Price, the quarterback for Morton. 11 completions on 16 attempts, 179 yards.
Yeah, I mean, he's putting up some incredible numbers. Almost hit the 200 mark in the first half. I mean, he is being very consistent. He's not necessarily putting the ball in danger where it's going to be picked off -1 errant pass in the first half, but it's also a little bit easier to do when you're doing those quick swings and screens. It's a little bit harder to throw an interception and make a mistake necessarily But he's done a good job, even on the deeper passes, of putting his receiver in a position to catch the ball, as we saw in the red zone, and not necessarily giving the defense a chance to really come back down with the ball, just break up the pass more than anything.
We'll name the Boilermakers Local 374 blue-collar player of the game when this one is all said and done. There have been a couple of guys who have been really working hard today. I mean, a guy that I've been looking at is the DB for Portage, Lester Wisby. I mean, he was all over the field in that first quarter especially. There have been some other guys in that Portage defense who have done a good job. Looking more on the Hammond side, I mean, Amir Daniels has been a great DB for Morton. I mean, we haven't really called his name much, mostly because his receiver has been under wraps today.
Yeah, I mean, he's done a good job of not letting his receiver get open. I mean, for a second, Bennett was honestly up there too, because he may have not had the stats. You know, he wasn't getting a lot of catches. He had one reception in the first half. But he was drawing the defense's attention to give other receivers and running backs a chance to be open. But even at safety, I mean, we saw him almost come down with an incredible pick on the sideline over here.
Let's take a look at your hometown scoreboard update, brought to you by Strack & Van Til, your favorite Indiana-made grocery store. The other games being broadcast tonight on the Region Sports Network. The first one, the battle for the old leather helmet between Crown Point and Lowell. 15-7 in favor of the Crown Point Bulldogs, the number one team in the region, on the ropes right now.
Yeah, I mean, this is a Crown Point team that returned quite a bit, had a disappointing end to the season last year, but also you have a Lowell team that returned a lot, and they are one of the top teams in the region year in and year out, no matter who's on that team or who's coaching it.
The other game on RSN, third quarter underway between Chesterton and Hobart. It's the Brickies, the road squad, up 14-0.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big, big game for Hobart right now. You know, any opening game this season is a big game, especially with scrimmages around the region being canceled last week and not being able to participate in those. So this is really the first action a lot of these guys are seeing.
The Battle of Broadway, 2 versus 3, Maryville, Andrean. It's the Pirates, up 14-7 in quarter number 2. That's always a big one because Andrean, they are world beaters in that NCC and especially at the 2A level. Now they're up to the 3A level, but it's a couple of years in a row now. Maryville has kind of put them in their place to start the season, but a very competitive game going on right now in Maryville.
Yeah, and I mean, Maryville, again, is a team that returns probably the most electric quarterback in the region.
Michael Hill, that guy's good.
Very good. I think he had almost 3,000 yards in 9 games last year when we saw him play. He almost had 2,500, I think, at one point.
Well, most teams in the region are very ground and pound, but Maryville was the opposite of that. They were airing it out all of last year, and they looked really solid. These Morton Governors have really been airing it out as well. I'm going to quickly scroll through Max Preps and see if I can find any other notable scores throughout the region. Everyone getting underway in week 1 in the state of Indiana. Really the most wonderful time of year. Hanover up 14-3 on Michigan City. Of course, Michigan City's coach, Cody French, now with Portage in 2026. And that was a home-and-home that got scheduled that a lot of people in the region were very excited about. That's where we were in week 1 last year. We went to Michigan City, and they put a beat down on Hanover, but Hanover's giving it back to them down there in Cedar Lake.
Yeah, and I mean, it was an interesting game last year because, as we were saying during break, it was a very close game going into the second half. Michigan City had a lot of plays break their way. I think they had a scoop and score, and then they had 2 blocked punts for a touchdown back-to-back. It's just a game that got a little bit more out of hand than Hanover Central wanted, but it was still a good Hanover Central squad last year.
LaPorte and New Prairie over in LaPorte County tied at 14 apiece. Those two open the season against each other every year, and they play for a trophy, but I'm blanking on what it's called. The Milk Can. Thank you, producer Nick Russ. Yeah, that's a big rivalry, and that's always a fun game between those two.
Nothing like playing for a trophy, especially, and
week 1, too. That's all you're thinking about in the offseason is we want that to start the season.
And me as a Kentucky native, I used to love the Battle for the Governor's Cup was the Louisville, Kentucky game, week 1 every year of college football. And Now, unfortunately, they do it during rivalry week, but it was always a fun game to, see the hometown teams open up the year against each other, kind of see how they were going to be. But at the high school level, it's a lot more fun when you're playing for a trophy.
Hanover has scored again. It's 21-3 in the third quarter.
Sounds like Hanover is getting payback for last year. That is for certain.
That's been your Strachan Van Til hometown scoreboard update. Crispy Golden Award-winning flavor Strachan Van Til's fried chicken is voted best in the region. Perfect for any party. Skip the stress and serve the best. Order online today at strachanvantil.com. We'll have the start of the second half coming up next on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Navigating Medicare doesn't have to be overwhelming. Crown Point's Christina Cherenko is a licensed insurance agent helping clients locally and nationwide with Medicare Advantage, Medicare Supplement, and separate dental, hearing, and vision options. Her personalized guidance is always free. Call Christina today at 219-444-0304 or visit KIGcares.com. KIG Senior Solutions is not connected with the federal Medicare program. Contacting this number connects you with a licensed insurance agent. This is an advertisement for insurance.
Every great football game is shaped long before the final drive. It's built through preparation, discipline, and a plan. Retirement is no different. The closer you get, the more important every decision becomes. At Wealth Partners on Main, we help you build a personalized retirement strategy. So when you approach your retirement red zone, you can move forward with confidence. Because the best outcomes aren't left to chance. They're planned. Wealth Partners on Main. Your home team for retirement.
With electrical services from Economy Electric Heating and Cooling, you can radiate the perfect amount of light and energy into your home. From rewiring and code upgrades to ceiling fans, lighting, security, and more, Economy Electric Heating and Cooling's trained electricians will make sure you can enjoy your home on full power all the time. For a free estimate on electrical work, call Economy Electric Heating and Cooling at 219-923-4441, and you can visit them on the web at 4ajobdoneright.com. That's the number 4ajobdoneright.com.
At Blyce, we're used to having the athlete shop at our store.
Down, sit, put.
But sometimes they get carried away. Blyce, this is where the athlete shops.
Is your home ready for a refresh? Trust the cleaning and restoration specialist at Master Clean. For over 40 years, Master Clean has helped Northwest Indiana homeowners keep their homes looking their best. With professional carpet and upholstery cleaning, tile and grout cleaning, pet stain and odor removal, and more. With honest pricing and satisfaction guaranteed, you can count on Master Clean to get the job done right. Call 219-662-7838 or visit MasterCleanSelect.com today. Master Clean. Life happens. We help clean it up.
Flip the switch, a light turns on. Press the button, machines and instruments come to life. Touch the screen, communicate with the world. Simple tasks, guaranteed results, every second of every day. That's the power of power. And that's the power brought to you by the NECA contractors and electrical workers of Local 531.
Second half set to start here on the Region Sports Network. Portage trailing Hammond Morton 14-7, but the Indians will get the ball to start half number 2. It was a rough first half for their new sophomore quarterback, Bryce Hodges. 2 for 9 in the air, 37 yards. He did have a big touchdown on fourth down to Aiden Sanders, but that was really all the Indians were able to muster offensively.
Yeah, and, he showed the ability to be able to get out of the pocket and scramble. I'd be curious to see if they do maybe some more quarterback, read option, speed option, design runs.
Just one score away. Portage definitely still in this one. And Morton back to the squib kick to start things. It's Apollo Gibbs, the running back, to pick it up. And he has a nice return, still moving across the 45.
That's almost the danger with the squib, it seems like, against Portage. Outside of the missed, catch earlier where it went between two guys' legs. Both times they've gotten decent gains out of it, giving themselves good field position to start from the kickoff. last time they were able to capitalize with, like you said, a big fourth down touchdown. Curious to see how they let this momentum go, because it seemed like Portage had all the momentum going into halftime, had a huge fourth down stop, was driving and just wasn't able to capitalize.
Apollo Gibbs, the big running back for Portage, he has been smothered today. In the first half, 7 carries for 7 yards. We'll see where Portage goes to start half number 2, 1st and 10 from the 47. It's play action. Hodges over the middle, caught. Breaking off tackles for a first down, Lester Wisby.
As you said earlier, Wisby's been all over the field today for Portage. I mean, he was draped by a DB there, took him for a little bit of a ride and got some good yards out of it.
14 yards on the catch and run. A nice start to the half for Bryce Hodges.
And that's how you get your quarterback in motion. You know, you get a quick, easy completion, builds the confidence.
Hand off Gibbs. Once again, he has nowhere to go.
Looked like the defensive line may have ran a stunt there. I couldn't fully tell, but it looked like the defensive end looped around and there was a wide open gap right there between the guard and center and the A gap. But Gibbs doing everything he can to stay on his feet and get some more yards, just unfortunately unable to. They're going to go, looks like, back to Burleson at running back.
Burleson had a lot more success in that first half. 3 carries for 26 yards. He was a guy that was not going down off first contact. A 1-yard loss on that last play, 2nd and 11. Hodges back in the shotgun, and it will be Burleson weaving his way through, still on his feet. Lowering the shoulder, he has a nice solid gain of 5.
Yeah, and that's a good play there by Amir Daniels. You know, these running backs at Portage have had a good opportunity of just being able to break a first initial contact and keep running. Went straight for the legs, just like a lot of people do on power running backs. It's sometimes easier to take out the legs than trying to meet them up top.
3rd down and 7 upcoming. 2 receivers on each side for Portage. Burleson, the running back again. Hodges with time to throw. Down the sidelines, incomplete. Intended for DeMarcus Jenkins over there on that far sidelines, but he had a DB all over him. It was Makai Thomas off the bench with some tight coverage.
It looks like Portage is going to go for it again. I also wouldn't be shocked maybe take a delay of game, then punt it, try to pin them back. But also, this has been a Portage team tonight that has been very gutsy with the play calling and still actually going for it on 4th down instead of just always trying to draw them off or get extra yards out of it.
7 yards are needed to keep this drive alive. Portage went winless last year, looking to change that with their new head coach in 2026. Sanders in motion. Trips to the right. And it looks like Portage was just trying to draw them off sides there. They'll take a timeout.
I'm intrigued to see why they wouldn't take the delay of game, give their punter a little bit more room to work with to really pin this Governor's team back. But also, you know, they might end up saying, hey, we saw something we like out there and end up going for it. They didn't really respond to the motion, so it looks like Morton's not running a lot of man coverage tonight, mostly sticking to zone coverage. See if maybe the offensive coordinator saw something he can take advantage of out there if they're in zone.
Be sure to stay connected with all things Region Sports, as we are always active on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, X, and on our website at regionsports.com. Celebrating over 25 years, we're proud to still be the only game in town. 4th and 7, you got to imagine Portage is going to the air here to pick up this first down. 7 yards would be a lot to ask out of either Gibbs or Burleson. And it looks like neither one of them will be on for this snap. It's Hodges alone in the backfield. Now they send Gibbs on late.
They might have Gibbs be an extra blocking back here if they are going to throw something deep. Safeties are up. It's going to be a blitz here.
Sanders in motion again. Play action. One-on-one coverage for Wisby, and it's intercepted by Zaire Smith. Sort of working as an arm punt that time for Portage. I bet you Morton wished that he just knocked that one down, but nonetheless, the senior with an offer from Eastern Michigan almost had an interception in that first half, and now he has one in the second.
Yeah, and you know, it it hurts, throwing an interception, but also, in all honesty, you give your defense a little bit better field position there with an interception, or as you said, an arm punt. But it's one of those things, again, this is a very fast Morton team. Being pinned in their own side doesn't hurt them, but Portage has shown when they got a lot of field to work with on defense, they have been very, very stifling.
Amari Price and the Morton Governors back to work on offense, leading 14-7 after 2 long passing touchdowns in the first half. Amari Price was dazzling to start week number 1. On play number 1 of the second half, it's a handoff to Mike Walker, and he doesn't have a lot of room to work with.
It looked like they tried to do a little bit of a wham block there with their wide receiver that was essentially lined up as a tight end. Just wasn't as effective as they would love. And, again, this is a Portage defense that's been doing a very good job of just stopping the run.
Walker, the main running back for Morton, only 6 carries for 11 yards now. They gave him 2 on that last one, 2nd and 8 upcoming.
Got Walker out in space now, lined up on the outside.
5 wide for the Governors. Price, quick screen to the outside. It's caught. Matthew Candler lowering the shoulder with blockers ahead. He's still running across the 30 with a big first down. And flags come in at the very end of that play on the Morton sideline.
I had a feeling a flag was coming in because it looked like he was standing up straight going into the sideline, and I think Portage got a little bit of extra activity going on there. But also, it's one of those hard things. If you're already bringing a guy down, you're not always knowing exactly where the sideline is. Can't fault the defensive player for it.
And it's going to be a personal foul against Portage. A little bit of late pushing and shoving that time will move Morton even further up the field. With that last completion, Amari Price, 12 for 17, 193 yards.
Only 7 yards short of 200 already on a very young season. I mean, again, we were talking. He almost had 200 in the first half. Looks like he's going to continue that.
Price, he's a 3-sport athlete. In addition to football, he plays baseball and basketball. On the sweep, Mike Walker with nowhere to go, and flags are down.
One of your favorite Portage Indians was the first one on contact there. Lester Wisby read it from the start, came straight around the edge, made first contact and gave his team time to get there and help out. Looks like the Governors are going to be pushed back.
That was the one thing that really hindered Morton in that first half. They really thoroughly outplayed Portage in terms of yards gained, but a lot of penalties pushed them back, and there were a couple times where they set up Portage with good field position, and on 1st and 10, Morton is moving back.
Yep, and that's one of those things that can kill you in the game of football. If you can keep getting penalized, you can have all the yards you want, but if you don't win the penalty battle and you've got over 100 yards of penalties, you're making it harder on your team overall. But Morton's done a good job of making those yards back up as well.
1st and 20 from the 38. Man in motion, but Price keeps it straight up the gut. Past the original line to gain. Big carry that time. 15 yards.
Big carry there, and that's one of the things you got to watch out for, and I mentioned it in the first half. They do a lot of these jet sweep motions, hand it off, and they're going to start faking it, do some play actions every time they think, oh, they're going to hand it off to the wide receiver. Either A, there's going to be a guy open in the middle of the field or downfield, or B, you're going to see Price take off and run.
It was Wisby on the stop again, 2nd and 3 for Morton. It's Price under center. And straight up the gut, it's Lazenby still moving forward. A big run again, and Morton is marching down the field.
Seems like every time Wisby is the first one to make contact to slow these guys down so his team can get there. He may not get credited for a tackle there, but definitely credited for slowing the momentum of the running back, not giving Lanesby really an opportunity to get full momentum going.
Quick throw outside, caught by Marcus McBride. Out of bounds with a catch and run of about 6.
There's a little bit of play action there. Again, jet sweep motion, but this time they fake the dive. Jet sweep guy was wide open.
199 yards right now for Amari Price. 2nd and 4 upcoming. Morton looking to make this a 2-score lead here in quarter number 3. Price on the option. He pitches it. Lazenby with a lane. Diving forward. He has the first.
He held on to it almost a little too long, but was able to get it out there perfectly in time, giving Lazenby time. But also with the late pitch like that, as you saw, Lazenby got a little tripped up trying to catch it. Still able to pick up first down, though.
6-yard gain. And Morton back into the red zone. Brought to you by our folks at Wealth Partners on Main, your home team for retiring planning. Securities and advisory services offered through Prospera Financial Services. Member FINRA/SIPC. And it looks like Morton will call timeout and talk things over. We'll step aside here in the third quarter on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Get Pulse technology on your team. Hit a home run with our managed print and copier services, IT and technology solutions, office furniture and design services, office supplies, scoreboards, and AV solutions.
Strachan Van Til for the win with 4 ways to save. Catch price drops on over 15,000 items and check the weekly ad for can't miss deals. Stack on the rewards program for digital coupons, points toward discounts and free products, and power up with our own brands. Keep your budget in the safety zone. Get the same great taste as national labels at lower prices. If you can't taste the difference, why pay the difference? Score big value with 4 ways to save at Strachan Van Til.
1st and 10, Morton from the 15-yard line, knocking on the door of touchdown number 3. The one thing that could hurt them right now is penalties. The only thing they've really struggled with today. 2 running backs in the game, one on either side of the quarterback, Amari Price, who's back to throw into the end zone over everyone, looking for Amir Daniels that time.
Yeah, it looked like Daniels had a little bit of room on the DB, and again, Price tried to get it there. I think him and the wide receiver were just on different wavelengths there. He thought he was going to go to the outside. Receiver kept going straight. Happens every once in a while.
We started the scoring this game on 4th and 11 in quarter number 1. And it was Amari Price to Amir Daniels on a sort of corner route like that. But now it's 2nd and 10 from the 15. Same formation for Morton. Mike Walker and Joshua Lazenby are the running backs, and it will be a keeper this time. Price, can he get to the edge? Still on his feet. Dragged down inside the 10, about a yard short of the first.
Yeah, and this is going to be 4th down territory if they don't get the yards here. I think they really want to put the gas down and be able to score. Make it a 2-score game going under 6 minutes in the third quarter. Looks like a little quarterback sneak action.
Price has it.
I think he's still going.
On his feet, inside the 3.
That was a more unorthodox QB sneak than we see nowadays. You know, you got the famous tush push from Philly, and I feel like it's trickled down to all levels of the sport. There it looked more like just a full-out quarterback sweep after the initial contact.
Tush push again. A big pile at the goal line. And it looks like Portage made the stand.
Looks like it's going to be, I think they might have got to the half-inch. Yep, they got to the half-inch yard line. Now I have a feeling we're going to see either another QB sneak or they might try to do some magic and roll him out or something out of nowhere.
Price has done a little damage with his legs today. 8 carries for 38 yards after that last one.
And that's been the dangerous thing with Price tonight. You know, they've gone to the read option a lot. They've gone to the speed option.
He's the leading rusher for Morton. Now they got him in the gun. 4 wide for Morton, and they only need a yard. Instead, it's Price again with some more space. This time he has the touchdown.
Little quarterback blast action right there. It's still essentially a goal line offense. Your running back's running straight forward and being a lead blocker. I think they were ready to give Price the touchdown after 2 hard quarterback sneak carries and almost scoring on both of them.
2 touchdowns through the air, 1 on the ground for Amari Price, the sophomore, making his name known throughout the region. Victor Tovar out for the extra point. He's 2 for 2 today. And this one is blocked. Portage coming through with a stand that time. Terrell Farmer breaks through the line and blocks that one. So the lead will stay at 20-7 with 5 minutes to go. Here in quarter number 3, you're watching the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Hi, I'm Crowd Company's Lantern Man. If you're a contractor, it's my job to make your insurance coverage simple and affordable. Because I know time is money, I'll come to your business. Certificates and bonds are a snap. Wherever you are, whatever business you're in, we've got you covered. As Crowd Company's Lantern Man, I'm your insurance superhero.
Crowd Company's insurance professionals. Highland, Merrillville, and Michigan City.
Welcome back to game night on the Region Sports Network. 20-7, the lead for the Morton Governors after a 2-yard rushing touchdown from their quarterback, Amari Price, who has been doing it all today. Alongside Chris Figg, I'm Quincy Bell. Chris, Portage really struggled offensively in that first half other than the big touchdown to Sanders. Had a little bit of a drive going to start this second half, but it eventually fell short around the 30. What do they need to do for a better drive here and get back in this one?
I mean, it's something you hear all the time, but they really need to get the run game established. You know, even if they do some power running, some wham blocks, have some guys pull, or even just quick little screens and halfback draws.
Morton kicked that one straight out of bounds around the 30, so Portage, again, will be set up with some decent field position, but you're right. The run game hasn't really been established. Their main running back, Apollo Gibbs, has had nowhere to go all day. He has 8 carries for just 6 yards.
Yeah, and a lot of their big runs have come from outside zone. Outside of, Burleson has made some really good inside zone runs, but with these fast defensive linemen, they've made it a little harder on them to run it between the tackles. Because they're either slanting, they're doing some kind of stunt at all times, making it harder for the offensive line to figure out who's got who. Because, that's one of the hardest things. When 2 guys twist, you've got to essentially pass them off.
This Morton defense runs a 3-5-3 scheme. 3 linemen, 5 linebackers. And this linebacking group is a relatively inexperienced unit, but they've been able to swarm when any running backs get to the second level. 1st and 10. And here's Bryce Hodges to throw with time running out of it, and he'll be taken down for the sack by Demarion Woodard.
Yeah, and again, that's an example of they brought 5, had a little bit of a trickery on the outside. Looked like Woodard was the late twist puller. But again, it's one of those things. This has been a kind of an exotic defense look, almost something you see at a higher level of, college football where they're bringing multiple guys, but they're disguising it every time of where they're going to go.
Woodard had a half sack earlier. Now he gets his first full sack. And 2nd and 11 for Portage. Flags fly, and they'll be moving back even further after a false start.
Yeah, and this is not a time you can really afford a false start. You're trying to regain momentum at this point, and now you're going to make it 2nd and 16, 2nd and 15.
Yeah, they're well behind the chains right now. 2nd and 16. Hodges to throw quickly outside, and it's intercepted. Malik Candler, the big defensive end, the other way for 6.
And I think that is 2 years in a row now that we've had a big man touchdown in the first game of the season. One was a scoop and score last year, with Fields out of Michigan City. This year it's Malik Chandler, where Chandler reading the screen perfectly, saw it, and he might get a couple extra yards added on for celebration, but you can't fault the guy, man. When a big guy gets to score, it's hard not to celebrate.
You got to imagine the first touchdown of his career, and you know what? I think Morton will take that penalty. He almost flipped off the helmet that time. He was going nuts in the back of the end zone. It's all Governors right now, 26-7.
He was close to pulling the DJ Moore when he was at on Carolina, where he threw his helmet into the stands after catching that Hail Mary. I think he was just a little overexcited.
Interceptions on back-to-back passes for Bryce Hodges dating back to the last drive.
That's going to be assessed on the kickoff, so that's going to actually help out Portage even more with field position. But, again, it's a slippery slope. They saw the screen coming. Candler read it perfectly. Can't even fault him. It looked like he had just tipped it, was able to tip it towards him.
Tovar for his fourth extra point. He had his last one blocked. The kicker making his varsity debut today. Snap down, kick up, and good. 27-7, the lead for Morton. This game is getting away from Portage. They need a response when we come back on the Region Sports Network.
From lighting up Friday night football to powering the classrooms that shape the students of Lake County, IBEW Local 697 is proud to support our region schools and the communities we call home. A career as a union electrician could be your next great move. Your next cap might be a hard hat. IBEW Local 697, powering futures, powering the region.
Please. Welcome back to game night on the Region Sports Network. And the latest touchdown in this game, a pick six from the 254-pound defensive end Malik Candler. And after the pick six, he got called for excessive celebration. Chris, you and I were talking. We think a big man touchdown should never get called for excessive celebration.
No, and I mean, it wasn't too excessive. He spiked the ball, might have almost taken his helmet off, but let the man celebrate. Big men don't always get to score.
But with that penalty, Morton will be kicking off from the 20. So Portage with a chance to be set up with some really good field position. Make it the 25.
Curious to see if Morton decides to try to kick it deep now or if they're going to squib it again. Because if you squib it, I mean, you're giving Portage the ball in your own territory.
They do go for the squib, and it gets through to Wisby across the 50. And Portage will be set up with some good field position. But they have some work to do, down 20 points here in quarter number 3.
I don't know if you've ever watched the show Ted Lasso on Apple TV, but there's a guy on there called Roy Kent, and his chant is like he's everywhere. It feels like that's been Wisby tonight. I mean, he's been everywhere on defense, making plays on kickoff return now, making plays on offense as a wide receiver too. So I mean, it just feels like he is all over the field tonight.
Well, we're going to name some awards at the conclusion of today's game. One of them, the Proud Union Home Play of the Game. Here's Gibbs, straight up the gut for 3. I'm between two plays for that play of the game, either that pick six from Candler or that 81-yard touchdown back in the first quarter to Lazenby. Both plays for Morton.
I think it's hard, a normal pick six from that spot, you're like, okay, it's awesome, but it is what it is. But when it's a big man touchdown, especially the biggest defensive lineman they have, I mean, it's hard not to like that more than an 81-yard touchdown.
3:20 to go in quarter number 3, 2nd and 7. Hodges to throw, rolling out with time outside for Sanders, who has the catch and a bit of a run afterwards. he's dragged down about a yard short of the first.
And that's really what they need to do a lot with that young quarterback in Bryce Hodges. I mean, he's shown the ability to get out there and scramble if need be. I mean, he doesn't seem like he's got the legs necessarily of Price, but also he's still able to get some yards out of it. You roll him out, gets a wide receiver open sometimes because the linebacker comes down and tries to get him.
Hodges has struggled today, 4 completions on 14 attempts, but he's just a sophomore making his first varsity start today. Gibbs on 3rd and 1, he'll pick up the first.
That was a great run by Gibbs there. You know, he hesitated a little bit, waited for the gap to open. As soon as the gap opened, he shot it. And, I mean, he did a good job of getting the first down there on 3rd and short.
Portage, 3 quarterbacks on their roster. Hodges is the youngest one. The other 2 are juniors. But he has shown flashes today, and come next year in his senior year, he could be one of the better QBs in the region. He's shown some promise here.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely shown some promise, and, you know, it's
up for Wisby, incomplete, knocked away by Zaire Smith.
And he doesn't have a bad arm either. I mean, he's getting the ball where it needs to be necessarily down the field, and it looked like Wisby was going to come down with it for a second, but DV at the last second got a hand up again.
Zaire Smith has been working hard out there. The Eastern Michigan, well, he's got an offer to Eastern Michigan. Transferred here from the state of Wisconsin. And he has an interception today and 2 PBUs.
Yeah, I mean, he's, again, been all over the field, and especially with Chandler out on defense right now.
2nd and 10.
Or, sorry, Bennett, not Chandler.
Burleson the back with a nice carry straight between the tackles, and he's still dragging defenders. This guy is hard to bring down.
Yeah, and it's hard because, you know, Gibbs has had some really good hard runs, but it feels like with Burleson, he's been able to find the gap a little bit more on the inside zone plays. Gibbs has shown promise, but so has Burleson. I mean, they've got a really, really dual-headed backfield right now between those two.
This is a running back tandem that could give some teams in the DAC some problems. Morton, we've talked about it. They're one of the better teams in the 4A group. 3rd and 5. Burleson back in the game. He gets the carry, bouncing to the outside. Nowhere to go on the stretch run. No gain. And it's going to be a 4th down upcoming for Portage. You got to imagine they're keeping the offense out.
Yeah, they're definitely going to keep them out. I mean, you're down 3 scores at this point. You need to get something going. But also, it's kind of hard. You know, you want to get something going, but also you want to be strategic about it. I like the call going for it on 4th down right now just because, again, it's going to make their life a lot easier if they get it. And even if they don't, you still leave a lot of field left for this Morton team.
Under a minute to go in the 3rd. 4th and 4. Play clock winding down for Portage. 5 seconds to snap the ball. 3, 2, 1, and delay a game.
They might have got it. They did not get the timeout. Didn't see a flag come out for a second.
It's a rough penalty right there on 4th down, getting pushed back even further.
Yeah, it's going to make it 4th and 9. It looked like they were going to go with a little bit of power run there. They had 2. Looked like they had Shane Hill and another guy right there in the backfield ready to get them.
.35 seconds to go. And Portage, they need a first here to keep any hope alive in this game. Low snap, play action. Hodges deep over the middle, incomplete. Morton will take over.
Looked like that ball came out a little weird of his hands. I mean, there was no receiver really in the area. Maybe there, Aiden Sanders was there, but just not a great throw. But, again, this has been a Portage defense that's been pretty electric tonight for the most part. But if Morton's able to sustain a long drive again, can the Portage defense hold up? Because you do got a lot of guys playing both ways, it seems, as far as in the secondary on this Portage defense. You've got Burleson out there, you got Shane Hill out there, and you've also got Wisby out there still.
22 seconds to go in the 3rd. Morton looking to put this one completely out of reach. 13-0, they've outscored Portage in this 3rd quarter. A long touchdown drive capped off by a QB sneak from Amari Price, and then the pick six from the defensive end, Malik Candler. Price with a pitch this time. Getting to the outside, Anthony Clark. 5 yards on the carry, and it looks like that'll take us to the fourth.
Hill did a really good job on that, too. He was going for the quarterback and was able to change direction real quick when the ball got pitched. Able to make a play there. I'm interested to see what Portage does coming out in the fourth quarter now.
Put your fours up, folks. Final quarter coming up next. You've been watching Football Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Earn while you learn from the best hands in the business. The Bricklayers Allied Craftworkers for Indiana, Kentucky Apprenticeship. That's right, this is a paid apprenticeship.
I'm getting an education while learning a trade and getting paid for it.
The thing that surprised me the most about this apprenticeship program is the respect I have received after the proper time and training.
Classes start soon, so apply now. There are training centers throughout Indiana and Kentucky. We are the Bricklayers and Allied Craftworkers for Indiana, Kentucky Apprenticeship. The best hands in the business.
At American Testing Services, based in Hobart, Indiana, we specialize in NDT drone inspections and heat treatment services for local mills, fab shops, and facilities across the country. From Northwest Indiana to nationwide, we deliver precision, safety, and reliability. American Testing Services, America's trusted name in NDT.
Fourth quarter set to get underway here from Portage. The home squad trailing the Morton Governors 27-7, and they have the ball looking to bleed this clock down and earn their first win of the 2026 season. Head coach Mac Mishler in his 7th season at the helm of the Morton Governors. In his first 3 seasons, Chris, he only won 4 games. But then in 2023, after a 1-9 campaign, Morton with a strong 6-5 season. They went 5-5 in 2024, but this team really broke out last year in 2025. Price to throw over the middle. It's caught by Matthew Candler across the 40. He has a first down. But last year, they went 6-3. They were ranked in the top 10 almost the entire year. Made it to the sectional round. They did lose to Maryville, who eventually went on to make it to the state championship game, but this team has almost everyone back on offense, and they're looking for a great year here in 2026.
Yeah, and Price has been doing a terrific job with pressure in his face of getting rid of the ball.
He does so again that time, straight over the middle to Candler again.
Yeah, and he just threaded the needle there. He put it right in between the 2 linebackers out there. I believe it was Burleson, and I think it might have been Tegan Fuentes.
Price now, 15 completions on 21 attempts, 210 yards. He has 2 touchdowns through the air and 1 with his legs. He was the everyday starter last year as a true freshman, and as a sophomore, he looks to be taking a big jump. 2nd and 6 from the 49. It's Price to throw. Deep down the sidelines for Marcus McBride, but the pass is intercepted. Making a big play that time, a Poultrius Gibbs.
Really great play there, and kind of an errant throw. I mean, you had 3 DBs there. If he airs it out a little bit more, I think his receiver gets under it and he's running for the end zone. But, you know, starting out the year, he's been doing really good. First kind of mistake of the year, and really the first mistake, or second mistake of the game, necessarily. He almost had an errant pick earlier. This time Portage is able to come down with it.
It was actually Sherrod Wainwright on the interception. He's number 0. I thought he was number 8. So Wainwright with the first takeaway of the season for Portage. Fun fact for you, Chris, Portage went 0-10 last year. They didn't have a single interception all of last year. So they're already on the board with 1 here in 2026.
They already have more interceptions than the Jets last year, too.
Well, they got D'Angelo Pons now, so that should change. Hodges trying to escape the sack, but he cannot. Dragged down about a yard short of the line to gain. A couple of guys who were in there. Malik Candler, who had a half sack earlier, Probably gets another half sack there.
I think he might have made he almost made it back to the line of scrimmage. It is going to be another sack.
So Malik Candler now with a full sack and a pick six to his line. Have yourself a day, big fella. Might be looking at him for that blue-collar player of the game.
Yeah, he's
or just the straight-up player of the game. We'll have to see. Throw to the sidelines, incomplete from Hodges.
Little underthrown there. Even if he had hit the receiver, I think the DB might have been able to make a play there. He was draped all over the back of the receiver. Would have been hard to come down with it, that's for sure.
So we'll name the Crow Company's superhero of the game and the Boilermakers Local 374 blue-collar player of the game. For me, this one is close between Amari Price and Malik Candler.
I agree. I mean, Price has obviously been having a tremendous game, but Candler's been really helping him out on the other side of the ball.
Hodges under duress, and that one almost picked off again. Hodges, in this second half, has not had a lot of time to throw. Demarion Woodard still on the ground after that play. You got to hope he's okay. He's another guy who's had a great day today. He has 1.5 sacks.
Yeah, he's been having a good day. I think he might be cramping up a little bit. It's getting a little humid out there. You can still feel a little bit of a chill wind, but I think it's still just wet enough on the grass and just a lot of moisture in the air.
We'll step aside here on the Region Sports Network.
Flip the switch, a light turns on. Press the button, machines and instruments come to life. Touch the screen, communicate with the world. Simple tasks, guaranteed results, every second of every day. That's the power of power. And that's the power brought to you by the Nika Contractors and Electrical Workers of Local 531.
Calling all current and future homeowners in the Northwest Indiana area. Whether you're buying or selling, Brent Wright is here to make your real estate journey smooth and successful. With years of experience, personalized service, and a deep knowledge of the market, Brent will help you find the perfect place or get the best deal for your property. Call today at 219-406-7195 and take the first step toward your real estate goals. Contact Brent Wright, the right way to buy and sell real estate.
Welcome back to Game Night on the Region Sports Network. Let's take a look at some more scores around the region brought to you by Strachan Van Til, your favorite Indiana-made grocery store. Just give me a moment. I'll find them. Sooner or later. And Max Preps loves to put the Northwest Indiana scores at the very bottom, which is not very convenient for me. LaPorte and New Prairie battle for the milk jug, still tied at 14 in quarter number 3. 4th and 10, Portage is going for it. Hit as he throws, Hodges, incomplete outside, looking for Gibbs.
Looks like he was going to have another interception there for a second. Defense did a good job of not necessarily all going to the running back. I mean, the DBs did a good job of recognizing a little halfback screen right away. Took away the option.
Here's some more scores for you. 21-3, Hanover Central over Michigan City in quarter number 3. And let's take a look at the two other games being broadcast tonight on the Region Sports Network. Crown Point has opened things up against the Lowell Red Devils. They're up 35-7 in the fourth quarter. Over in Chesterton, the Brickies are all over Chesterton. Hobart leading that one 27-0. And Morton looking to put this one completely out of reach. Play action for Amari Price. Rolling out, throwing short, and in and out of the hands of the receiver.
Receiver was, again, wide open. You know, it was a good throw. Just receiver wasn't able to come down with it necessarily. It might have been a little too high, but overall a decent throw by all means.
He was looking for number 10 that time, Zaire Smith, who's mostly been used as a DB, but getting a chance that time at receiver. Those might be DB hands.
He had an interception earlier, so, well, two almost intercept, or a second almost interception.
That sounds like an insult, but he's a terrific defensive back. He's got a Division I offer.
Yeah, he's been terrific out here tonight. I mean, even if he hasn't necessarily picked off the ball a lot, he's been breaking up every pass he can.
Definitely a talented player. 2nd and 10. Price with a handoff to Walker. Nope, he keeps it. Price still moving up across the 15 and close to a first down with a carry of about 9.
That was a good little read option there. Defensive end bit on the running back, pulled it right away. Able to get almost a first down. It's going to be 3rd and short.
I'll tell you, this Morton team will be competitive at the 4A level this year, but next year they'll have Price in his 3rd year starting as a quarterback. They'll have Cordero Bennett back as a senior. Amir Daniels will be a senior. Most of these players that are making all the plays for Morton are not seniors.
Yeah, I mean, that's a huge thing, too, and especially moving down in division when you're able to compete with Maryville.
Walker to the outside. Can he get the corner? Yes, he can, but flags are down behind the play.
I'd say I hate to rain on your parade, Quincy, but I think this one's coming back. Have a strong feeling about it, as I saw a defensive lineman with his hands up in his jersey about 10 yards behind him.
You wonder why did the running back have a giant lane that time?
It looked like a defensive end was going to get him. Where'd he go?
Walker hasn't really had any room to run. He's been the only guy that's been kept under wraps by Portage. This is a guy where if you get him in space, he is fast. He's actually the fastest man in the region. He won the Northwest Indiana Regional in the 100-meter dash, 10.53 seconds.
Yeah, and that's incredible.
That is fast.
That is booking it. Oh, and it looks like they're doing the Chiefs offense.
Ring around the rosy right now for Morton on 3rd and 12. Price to Walker again. There goes that speed. Mike Walker cannot quite break a tackle at the second level, but he does have a carry of about 8 that time. That's the longest run he's had today. Like we said, he's been held for not too many yards today. That's now 7 carries and just 19 yards. He's a guy that you got to get him in space because he's 5'7", 154 pounds. He's not really going to run over a guy between the tackles, but, I mean, that speed is no joke when he gets outside.
Yeah, definitely. And, I mean, it's one of those things, too. It's kind of hard because, you know, you want your speedy back to still be able to run between the tackles, but you've got to have good blocks, and this Portage defense has done a good job of closing in when they're trying to run inside. But when you get him to the outside, it seems like he can just outrun everybody sometimes.
Morton with the offense still on the field. Instead, they'll call timeout and talk things over before 4th down. All 3 running backs for Morton have gotten their fair share of touches, either in the pass game or in the run game. Joshua Lazenby had the big play to regain the lead for Morton, that 81-yard screen back in the first quarter. Anthony Clark has had a strong day as well, 2 catches for 41 yards. Really, the only 2 guys that really haven't done much for Morton were the 2 guys that we were really looking for as difference makers today. Cordero Bennett, the big receiver with offers to Indiana, Auburn, Ole Miss.
Yep.
6'5", 205. He has 2 catches for 7 yards.
I think a lot of it goes back to, again, like we were talking about earlier, the defense has really keyed in on him. But even with him being out this second half, I mean, they've been able to get their receivers in space. I think Bennett was more of a threat on defense, really, at safety, kind of being a roaming safety, being able to be a robber, or necessarily just close in on a play real quick.
And we saw Bennett go down with an injury in the first half, but it looked like he was going to come back near the end of that second half. So I'd imagine with this game in firm control of Morton, they'll probably keep him on the sidelines. That's a guy that you're going to need going forward, and he looks like he's going to be healthy enough for week 2. On 4th and 6, Price over the middle, caught, breaking off tackles and reaching for the end zone. Matthew Candler, he'll fall just a couple yards short.
Seems like both the Candler brothers the Candlers are having a good game today. Matthew's been making some big catches out there, as well as you also have Malik on the other side that's just been a home wrecker essentially on defense. I mean, he's been doing everything to stop this Portage offense.
1st and goal from the 1. And Morton into the end zone again.
And that's going to be 2 rushing touchdowns now for Price. We got 4 touchdowns on the day for him.
I think he's sewn up that superhero of the game award.
Yeah, I think he has at this point. You know, it's hard to beat 4 touchdowns.
Victor Tovar on for the extra point. This has been quite the second half for Morton. And that was something we saw Portage struggle with a little bit last year. You know, when we saw them play Hobart here, it was a really competitive one-score game in the first half, and then things kind of got away from the Indians in the second half. But this team does look to be a lot stronger under head coach Cody French, but Morton, they're the real deal. And they're proving it right now. 34-7. We'll come back after this short break here on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
I can't believe I waited this long to get help.
High cholesterol runs in my family, so I know I needed to get tested every few years.
If I didn't get checked out, I might not have known till it was too late.
I never would have guessed I had diabetes.
Between the stress and the kind of food I was eating, my blood pressure was through the roof.
HealthLink made it easy and affordable to get tested and put my mind at ease.
Call to schedule your health screening today because good health can't wait.
At Athletic Performance Factory in Highland, Indiana, we push you to be bigger, faster, stronger, more explosive. Challenge every muscle with our cutting-edge sand speed and agility training. Build rock-solid strength and core stability to dominate on game day. Rent our full-size outdoor turf field for team workouts and practices. Improve your swing, boost your field skills, and protect your arm with expert one-on-one baseball and softball training built around you. We develop the entire athlete, mentally and physically. Athletic Performance Factory, where athletes are made.
Welcome back to football night on the Region Sports Network. All Governors tonight, 34-7 over the Portage Indians. Alongside Chris Figg, my name is Quincy Bell. Chris, you know, I'm just happy to have football back.
Yeah, I'm extremely excited to have football back. Don't know necessarily if the wives out there are happy for football being back, but I'm excited, you know, get the smoker going on a weekend, get the TV out.
Squib kick returned by Apollo Gibbs across the 45. Of course, we got college football starting up. I believe this Saturday is week 0.
Next Saturday. Open up with TCU, North Carolina, and Dublin. Big game of the night's going to be Virginia Tech versus, I believe they play, it's either Virginia or Virginia Tech playing at North Carolina State.
Well, I'll give you a sneaky game that I'm excited for. Jacksonville State against the first FBS game for North Dakota State. That is a team that it's been a long time coming to get them at the FBS level.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how they do, especially. I mean, it's a huge jump, but they've shown in the past they can compete with these FBS schools, some of the bigger schools.
Hodges will hand to Gibbs, and it's been a rough night for him. He's just had nowhere to go, dragged down for a 3-yard loss.
Seems like Morton's had all the answers on defense the second half. You know, it looked like a while that Gibbs was starting to get things going, but I think Morton is just bringing so much pressure, it's hard to get any kind of run game going. But even still, it's hard to get the pass game going because they're realizing, hey, it's a screener, hey, it's a halfback swing, and they're able to close down on the play fast.
2nd and 13. Yeah, it's always nice to get those like week 0 games in college football as a bit of like an appetizer for week 1. It makes you want week 1 even more after seeing what it's going to be.
For sure.
Hodges to take off. Still going. Up along the sidelines. He has a first. And a late hit penalty is about to be called on Makai Thomas after the play.
For sure, a late hit penalty. I mean, he was going out of bounds. I think he just saw an opportunity to make a play. And like I said, sometimes that sideline creeps up on you faster than you realize. And all of a sudden, the guy's out of bounds as you're going full speed at him.
Portage looking to take a touchdown with them into week 2 where they have the Hobart Brickies, and that's going to be a tough task for them. They're up 33-0 on Chesterton right now, on the road too.
Yeah, and Chesterton's a hard place to play at. I don't know if you've been to their stadium, but when it gets packed, it gets loud real fast there. Almost kind of like Michigan City for us last year, where it got loud out of nowhere real quick.
I wonder where we'll be going next week. Schedule hasn't been announced for the RSN Cruise. On first it's at Hodges. One-on-one coverage for Brown, and it's knocked away. Zaire Smith. We talked about him earlier. This guy has been everywhere. That's 3 PBUs now. He has an interception, 3 pass breakups. This guy has been a major defensive back force for these Governors.
Yeah, I mean, he made a good play on the ball. It looked like the receiver might still have a chance, but as soon as his hand got on the ball, it just started wiggling away from him. I believe it was Keyshawn Brown was the intended receiver, just wasn't able to come down with it after that.
I'll tell you, he might be making a case for that blue-collar player of the game presented by Boilermakers Local 374. Low snap, and Hodges didn't have time to recover. That's the second sack of the day for Malik Candler. He said, that blue-collar award is mine. I mean, he's been another guy.
He's been fighting for the Lantern player of the game as well with another big defensive play. But like you said, I mean, he's just been all over the field on defense.
I mean, we're in a battle right now between that player of the game award. I mean, Amari Price has 4 touchdowns and 225 passing yards, but 2 sacks and a pick 6 for Candler. I mean, that's a great day for a D lineman.
Yeah, especially a defensive end, you know, in this 3-5-3 defense.
Whistles and a false start on Portage.
I think the offensive linemen were trying to get an early jump there to try to help out their young quarterback there. I really think this Bryce Hodges kid, he's going to have a pretty bright future ahead of him. It's his first game starting, so, you know, there's some first-game jitters out there. But, I mean, he has been playing as good as you could expect from a first-time player, as a sophomore especially. You know, he's got a decent arm. Looks like he can run a little bit. Curious to see how Portage develops the offense as the year goes on with him.
3rd and 18. Hodges under duress, throws it outside and incomplete.
And that is going to make it 4th and a mile. At this point, I think if they get it, you know, obviously you want a touchdown. They scored on a long 4th down earlier just like Morton did. But also I would expect to see Morton try to run the clock out at this point after if they get another 4th down stop here.
Under 5 to play. 4th and 18.
They got a new running back out there, it looks like, too.
Number 16, that's Kendall Rice in the game. Deep throw down the sidelines and knocked away again by Zaire Smith. 4 PBUs, and he silences the Portage crowd.
I don't know about you, Quincy, but I can almost give the blue-collar player of the game to both Zaire Smith and Malik Candler. They've both just been the standout players on defense today, creating big plays and big stops when needed.
Yeah, that guy is a major defensive back. The senior spent 3 years in Waukesha, Wisconsin, and he moved 2 states south. I wonder if he just moved or what. But I mean, this guy, he'll be playing at the Division I level. He's got an offer to play at Eastern Michigan.
Could see maybe more offers trickle in through the year with the way he's been playing tonight, especially. But he chose a heck of a summer to move to Northwest Indiana, that's for sure.
Price looking to escape the sack, but he's dragged down. It's Kyron Merritt in there for the sack.
Good play by Merritt, not letting him get away, held on to his leg. You know, good job by Morton's quarterback as well, trying to get away. Didn't try to throw anything, didn't give up the ball. You know, at this point, it's just run the clock out.
2nd and 20, a 10-yard loss that time. Here's Lazenby bouncing to the outside for 5 yards.
Seems like this Morton backfield's going to be kind of a split time between Lazenby and Walker back there. Walker more of that speed back, you know, get out in space, and Lazenby more of that bruiser kind of running back. He's kind of been more in between the tackles tonight.
I mean, he's quick, too. He had that big touchdown earlier. Here's another big play. Marcus McBride down the sideline with blockers, and he's going to go all the way. The Morton Governors are here in 2026.
1 second. There's a lot of whistle blowing. The quarterback had his hands up. I don't think there's a...
There's a flag way back at the 30-yard line at the line of scrimmage. It might be, I don't know. The referee, I saw the one official go to the other one and make sort of like a dragging motion.
I think he was saying holding maybe in that point. It is a holding. That is a huge penalty right there after a huge touchdown.
And the flag is down on the near side of the field.
So it
was
a hold.
McBride ran all the way to the other side of the field, so that was completely away from the play.
Wondering if maybe just some words were exchanged and, a little aggression was released. But, that's a really costly penalty. It's not as if they got a holding on the play side that opened up the hole or anything like that. It's a hold that didn't really affect the play at all.
So it'll be 3rd and long upcoming for the Governors. Still, though, my point stands. This team's going to be a force in the 4A level. Though Morton and Hobart, it's going to come down between those two most likely for who comes out of the 4A sectional. Here's Mike Walker looking to get outside, but he is dragged down. Forward progress stopped that time. Loss of 2. But you can't forget about Lowell in that 4A conversation, and even a Hanover as well. I believe Hanover is 4A.
I think so as well. I could be mistaken in that.
I think they are 4A. So, that sectional is going to be tough. Morton, Hobart, Lowell, Hanover, all of those are in the RSN top 10.
I mean, Hobart's a very physical team where Morton's going to get a lot of teams. It's just the speed. I mean, we just saw their McBride essentially go on a track race down the sideline, beating every angle that was going at him.
Morton will punt this one away.
I believe that's their first punt of the night.
That'll be downed at the 48. 2 minutes and 47 seconds left for Portage. I think, I would say Hobart most likely the favorite there, but I mean, Lowell and Hanover are always going to be really good teams. But these Morton Governors, look, they could be as good as any team.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see how the playoff lineup gets set.
Now, what's interesting is Morton plays in the GLAC, the Great Lakes Athletic Conference. There's only 3 teams in that conference. Hammond Central, Hammond Morton, and East Chicago. And Morton they should pick up wins over those other 2 teams. And then they sort of act like an independent team because they have to play those 2 conference games, and then they sort of are free to make their schedule how they see fit. So next week, they take on Chesterton.
That'll be an intriguing game, I think, especially with the way Hobart's playing. That could be kind of a see into the future of.
Well, those 2 played at Chesterton last year, and the Trojans won by 1 point.
I do remember that. It was a close game.
But then you look at the rest of their schedule. They play Unity Christian, Byron Center, Phelan Academy. If I'm being honest with you, those are 3 teams I've never heard of. Probably not Northwest Indiana teams. And then they play Sterling. That team is out in Western Illinois. That team is almost in Iowa. And then they play Hammond Central, and then October 9th they take on Hobart at home, which will be a big game.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be a huge game. It could be a look into the playoffs, too. It looks like Portage has made a change at quarterback.
It's Amari Johnson who is taking some snaps for Portage, the 5'10", 165-pound junior.
I think they're giving Hodges the night off for the rest of the night. At this point, game's out of hand. It's under 3 minutes left. It's a 4-score game at this point. It's going to be hard to come back. It's not impossible, but also, it's going to be a hard one to fight back on.
2nd and 13. Handoff Gibbs. Around the edge, looking for space. Galloping across the 40. 15 yards on that carry.
And they're going to get an extra 15 there for a horse collar as well, it looks like. That might be Gibbs' best run of the night right there. I think he might have.
It is. He was stuck at 9 yards before then. And really, that's not a testament to him being a bad running back. It's Morton has been all over him up front. I mean, that really was the only time he's had any room to breathe.
Yeah, and it was an outside sweep, essentially, get him out in space. He's shown he's got some speed under him. And especially, when a big guy like that gets running, it's going to be hard to bring him down. But, I mean, this Morton defense with 3 defensive linemen has just made life hard on this Portage offense.
12 carries, 24 yards for Gibbs.
Oh, it's a personal foul on the offense, actually. I misspoke on the horse collar earlier. It looked like the flag came out as Gibbs went down, getting brought down from the back. So I thought it was going to be a horse collar, but he might have seen him block her downfield doing something a little extra after the play maybe, or during the play.
So it'll be second down upcoming. It was a 15-yard carry by Gibbs, but then a 15-yard penalty after the play, it looked like. Under 2 minutes to go now.
I think they rolled it during the play because it's second down now instead of first.
Well, here's Gibbs, and it looks like he just got those exact same yards back that looked like the same carry.
A little bit different because a little bit more inside. Didn't go as far outside beyond the tackle. But it looks like they're going to bring him off for a play or two and put in Carmelo Hunter in. Junior running back.
We'll see what he has. He gets the carry. Hunter, near side. Hit hard. Still on his feet. Dragged out of bounds for no gain. And some late pushing and shoving on the sidelines near the Portage side.
Looks like the refs are going to let him play a little bit at the end of the game, which is kind of intriguing to me. Normally you don't necessarily want to make it a flag day out there, but also you don't want a player to get hurt because of penalties being allowed or anything like that.
Morton trying to sub a guy off, and they will. They almost got caught with too many men on the field again. It would have been the second time they'd been called for that. 1 minute to go. A low snap picked up by Amari Johnson outside to DeMarcus Jenkins. Nowhere to go, and he's hit hard.
I think they try to do a little tunnel screen there, almost essentially, where he's supposed to come back. Linemen are out there. Just, again, defense does a good job of picking up the screen right away. We got a governor down. I think that's
It's Antonio McElroy, who's still down on the field. We'll step aside for a moment here on the Region Sports Network.
Every great football game is shaped long before the final drive. It's built through preparation, discipline, and a plan. Retirement is no different. The closer you get, the more important every decision becomes. At Wealth Partners on Main, we help you build a personalized retirement strategy, so when you approach your retirement red zone, you can move forward with confidence. Because the best outcomes aren't left to chance. They're planned. Wealth Partners on Main, your home team for retirement.
For 26 years, Armor Construction has been beautifying homes across Northwest Indiana. From expert roofing and durable siding to eye-catching custom copper work, Armor Construction does it all with the highest quality and integrity. Serving Lake, Porter, and LaPorte counties, trust the best exterior construction company in Northwest Indiana to protect your investment.
After that last injury, Antonio McElroy made it off the field under his own power. He looks to be okay.
It looks like Bryce Hodges has come back out on the field at quarterback.
Amari Johnson threw 2 passes, completed one of them.
I think he's just coming out to kneel out the clock. I think they're just going to let it run.
Clock moving. Under 40 seconds. And that'll be it. A Week 1 win in favor of the Morton Governors, 34-7 over the Portage Indians. Chris, a statement was made tonight.
For sure, and I mean, Portage had them on the ropes going into halftime. I think Morton just made some adjustments based off of how Portage's defense was playing with a little bit of their aggression and decided to take advantage of it, and we saw it with some of those short passes again. But, you know, again, kneeling out to end the game, we've seen some injuries. I think it's a smart move at this point. Just try to get out of this game without any more.
Well, it's time to name some awards, first of which the Crowell Company's Lantern Man Superhero of the Game. We have a couple options here of where we want to go. We could give it to Malik Candler, the defensive end for Morton. 2 sacks and a pick 6, was plugging the run game all night. Zaire Smith had a great game, 4 pass breakups and an interception defensively, but the guy that really was the difference maker today, Amari Price, the quarterback for Morton, 16 for 23 through the air, 225 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. On the ground, 50 yards, 2 touchdowns. Found the end zone 4 times. You got to think he's the player of the game.
Yeah, he's definitely player of the game, and I mean he was the difference maker. You know, all offensive touchdowns were through him, essentially, whether it was through the air, on the ground. Only touchdown that wasn't on offense was a defensive touchdown. It's hard to take away player of the game from Price out there. You know, he did everything right, was efficient, had 1 interception, but even still didn't make too many mistakes out there.
The Lantern Man Superhero of the game tonight was Amari Price. Crowell Companies, the insurance professionals, they have offices open in Highland, Maryville, and Michigan City. The Boilermakers Local 374 Blue Collar Player of the game. Now, we have 2 options on defense for Morton. Malik Candler, like we said, 2 sacks and a pick 6. Zaire Smith as well, had an interception and 4 PBUs. Now, here's what we could do, Chris. Now, if you want to veto this, so
I actually had a proposal for you as well.
So
you want to hear me out?
Go for it.
I think it's the same thing. I think Zaire Smith's got to be blue-collar player of the game. He did everything on defense to prevent the passing game for Portage getting together.
That's what I was going to – and then Malik Candler.
He's got to have play of the game with that pick 6. Not just because it's a big guy touchdown, but, the game was 14-7. And then he gets the pick 6. The game's completely different. Or it might have been 14-20.
I think it was 20-7. I think he made it 27-7. That really put it out of reach. So the Boilermakers Local Blue-Collar Player of the Game brought to you by Boilermakers Local 374 is Zaire Smith, the senior defensive back. An interception and 4 PBUs. Learn while you learn with the Boilermakers Local 374 apprenticeship program. And last but certainly not least, your proud Union home play of the game brought to you by Ironworkers Local 395. Malik Candler, 254 pounds into the end zone for 6 points. Put this one out of reach for the Governors. To find out how you can become a Union Ironworker, visit ironworkers395.com. We hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. Chris and I are just so happy to have football back, and we hope you join in wherever we are next week. There's a couple of good games we could go to. Schedule hasn't been released, but we're just excited to have football back.
Especially football back in the region with how these past couple weeks have been. I think this is definitely kind of an uplifting thing for the community, get everyone back out and get everyone together, essentially.
We hope you guys have recovered a little bit from the storms, and we're wishing all of you the best throughout these uncertain times. Big thank you to everyone who helped make this broadcast possible, our executive producer, Chris Ramirez, our operations manager, Rich Castillo, and our sports director, Mike Dewan. Big thank you to our producer, Nick Russ, and our cameraman, Aaron Svetlin. A special thank you to both coaches, Mac Mishler of Morton and Cody French of Portage, for both